As an are one win away from the Stanley Cup. Vegas has questions. Carolina has momentum. D-backs, well, they got swept with Miami, and they're off Cincinnati. They haven't scored a run in 90 innings. They were shut out back-to-back, and Bill Nicholson hit back and not puts off. So, yes, we got a full one-day, big day here at Coach Pete will join us on the final. Brian Mahoney of the Associated Press and the New York media. We'll discuss the Knicks. Scott Spreitzer, we'll get on the betting board with him. Graham Winkworth from Arizona State, soccer coach. He'll talk World Cup with us. And Rick Kamla, formerly of NBA TV, will join us and talk Game 5. Since I was off yesterday, we'll have Roc's Man Vice today. Got the money line, what's on tap, and your State 48 roofing. It's your call question of the day, which is a little bit different today because you're going to have to do a little writing. You're going to have to do some work. What's the most you've ever paid for a ticket to a sporting event, and was it worth it? Just go to our Twitter page at Roc and Manuch, Instagram, Facebook. It's all there. You can find it, and you can find the State 48 roofing. It's your call question of the day.
I know exactly where I went. As soon as I saw that, Roc, I knew exactly what it was. Remember when Brock Purdy's rookie year, San Francisco came in. He played the last 5 games. I think second to last game, it was Niners and Cardinals. They were here. And, boy, the prices bumped. We looked at them lower level, about 10 rows up right there in the, I think it was the south end zone. And they went from like $250 to $400 to $500 per ticket. And I looked at Laura. I said, well, he sees rookies having a hell of a year. Let's pay it. So $500 per ticket, $1,000 later, plus all the other stuff, parking, what have you. It was well worth it to see him his rookie year beat the Cardinals. Eventually, they go on to the NFC Championship game, get beat by your Philadelphia Eagles. But I didn't hesitate on it. Otherwise, I probably wouldn't have. He wouldn't been starting or playing per se. Probably would not have paid that.
I paid $2,800 for a Masters ticket.
Well worth it, I'm sure.
I would do it again.
Yeah.
I've also
I've
done the $1,000 for tickets for different events, international championships, things like that. But yeah, we were stuck. It was, I can't remember which year it was. I've been there 3 times, and I recall. Yeah, we went out there. It was sold out. The tickets that we were supposed to be given to us, that we were buying, somehow there was a mix-up, and we had already gotten out there, and we had to scramble, so we had to pay a little bit more than we normally would have. And it was the year when I guess there was some Korean player that was playing in the Masters. I can't remember his name. And all these people were coming over from Asia and everywhere else to see these guys play, or see this guy play. So, and it was Tiger's return and all this stuff. So it was just a supply and demand. But the Masters is one of those tickets. So if you've been there, you know what I'm talking about. If you haven't, $1,000 to $2,000, yeah, that's a lot of money. However, doors open at 8 and they close at 8, basically. That's 12 hours. You do the math and you break it down by hour. And then you also know there's getting a beer for $2.50, $3, $8. Again, a sandwich for $1.50. I mean, everything is cheap, with the exception they'll spend another $2,000 in the team shop. But other than that, it is well worth it.
That'd be one of those bucket list, once in a lifetime type of things. I'd love to do it more than that, but I'd spend the $2,800. I'd spend
it's just bucket list.
Bucket list.
You got the money.
You got if it's Sarah, it's like one of those things that, okay, look, there's other things we could spend it on. I know that for that game with Brock, rookie year. As far as like any other kind of ticket, I think the most we paid for like a concert outside of sports was $500 a piece for Celine Dion over in Vegas at Caesars when she had her residency there, and well worth it. Sat in the very front row, watched her sing for almost 2 hours. I mean, there's certain things you go, you know what? Probably not going to chance to see this again. We saw her twice, but that kind of money up front, close and personal, and then that kind of a sporting event. Yeah, I think those are kind of things you go, okay, if I've got it, I can spend it. I can actually say, look, I went to Augusta. I was there from 8 to 8, whatever it is. And then when you see an icon like a Celine Dion or I think of Elton John, those tickets were real cheap over at the Chase either. I think if I'm going to watch them one time in my life and see these icons in sports or in music or what have you, I would definitely spend it if you got it. It's just a few more extra quarterback workouts and working overtime with Roc Manuch.
Yeah.
I mean,
so
work those workouts.
So expectations World Cup. Everything you read, they drew a favorable Group D, Paraguay, Australia, and Turkey, who are training out in Mesa. All but one World Cup host dating back to 2002 earned at least 4 points in group play. So that's the bare minimum for the Americans. But in reality, they should record 6 or 7 points. They should capture the group on the home soil. And the toughest will be Turkey, who they will play in their third match. So the ceiling, round of 16, maybe this is the honest take most people are landing on, is expect them to get hopefully there. They do have a rookie coach. He's never coached in the World Cup. Their defense is a storyline that it's not quite their strength. So those are things that we'll get answered later in the show when we bring on some experts to talk about World Cup. And you only get to do it every 4 years.
I just hope they get.
I love the hype.
I would love for them to get out of the round of 16. I mean, that'd be the goal. Just get out of the round of 16, win a game, the quarterfinals, and move on. I mean, just every year, it just they get there and then they get beat, then you move on, and then 4 years later, it's kind of the Groundhog Day. We see the same thing over and over and over. I was reading a little article. And they talked about how this group of athletes coming through, or this group of millennials and Gen Z kids that are coming through, who've been so involved in soccer much longer than like when our age group was coming up. So they're saying the promise is that they've done it long enough. They got enough reps. You got guys who are over in Europe playing, so they're seasoned that way. I think the emphasis was good quality reps, good quality games. So when they come together, we're hoping to see that our USA team can take that next step. For the men, because the women, you always think, okay, they'll be pretty solid. No, they'll do pretty damn good, and because they've got that tradition. But for the men, something always falls aghast or doesn't come forward. But when you read listen to the pundits, and you read all this stuff, you just hope that this era, these 22 to 30-year-old men, have enough reps, enough competition where they can play and keep up with the Joneses, so to speak.
D-backs have had a rough week. Monday, it was an off day, traveling to Miami, and then they slept in Miami as they fell all 3 games, swept both Wednesday and Thursday. They're now 500 at 34-34, third in the NL West, 9 games back of the Dodgers and a game behind San Diego, but 2 different ways to lose in one series. Tuesday, the lineup put up 6, but the pitching collapsed. And then on Wednesday and Thursday, the staff, they couldn't really do much. It was steady, but the offense went to sleep. So they get blanked back-to-back. And one constant of the whole week, Tel Marte, who hit in every game, was basically the only Diamondback who showed up in Miami. So they kind of limp into Cincinnati at 500. Hopefully they can wake up the bats and they can wake them up fast.
Yeah, and I think the thing that's reared its ugly head that a lot of folks talk about is the runners in scoring position. I think 2 for 39 or 2 for 37.
They were which game?
Well, I mean, I should say over 4 games. I'm sorry, last 4 games. Let me paraphrase. Yeah,
they were 0 for 7 yesterday.
0 for 7 yesterday, but over a 4-game span, they were like 2 for 39 or something just ridiculous.
Horrible.
They just could not get runners from second base just to even move them over. And there was like 3 or 4 times you had runners at first or second, a runner at second, where there were no outs, and they still could not get that runner across the plate. And then you brought it up, 19 scoreless innings. I mean, that's just amazing when you hear that and you see that. And I know it's Miami, and Miami's staff, they're not that good. The one kid that threw the second game had a 10.0 ERA. He goes 4 innings of no hits for this Marlin team. So hopefully, I guess Lawler's going to be participating today in Cincinnati. He's going to be back. Some of the other guys, Fernandez went went down to Reno to try to get his bat straightened out. There's a lot of moving parts right now, Rock. And I thought about that this morning. There's no constant besides Perdomo and Arenado. And then right field, you pretty much got Corbel. In second base, you got Marte. First base, you got guys coming and going. You got the Gruber kid that's up now. So you just hope that they can find a group of guys that can settle in prior to the All-Star game in, 4 weeks? And then after that, have an idea where they want to go.
So Phil Mickelson's golf future may be murkier than ever. The 6-time major champion has reportedly lost his membership at a longtime California golf club, and there's some allegations of misconduct, and it comes as he's already been absent for much of the golf season. So has Lefty's legacy changed forever? We're going to discuss that right after our replay rewind. Just getting started out here at Wright Toyota. It's Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B here on ESPN Radio Phoenix. We're on FM at 98.7 HD2. We're on YouTube and on the Arizona Sports app.
When it's game time in the Valley, you know what time it is. It's Twin Peaks time. Head to Twin Peaks with 5 Valley locations and massive screens everywhere you look. From basketball, baseball, to hockey, fights, and more, there's no better place to catch every play and all the action. Bud Light is a proud partner of sports fans everywhere. Twin Peaks, eats, drinks, scenic views.
Rock for WrightToyota.com. At Wright Toyota, they'd like you to get to know them. Their goal is to make buying your next vehicle the kind of experience that earns your recommendation to family and friends. They invite you to use all of their innovative web tools on WrightToyota.com. So if you're looking for a new or pre-owned Toyota, head to their interactive website at WrightToyota.com. The right price, the right selection, all at WrightToyota.com.
When it comes to your roof, you don't want to mess around. And Arizona homeowners and business owners have known that for over a decade. State 48 Roofing is Arizona's #1 referred roofer. Residential, commercial, they do it all. And they've been doing it right here in the Valley for over 10 years. Protect your home, protect your business. And hey, keep your roof sexy with State 48 Roofing. Visit state48roofing.com. or call 480-268-4509. State 48 Roofing, Arizona's most trusted roof.
I was in a wreck. I need a check.
I was in a wreck. I need a check.
I was in a wreck. I need a check.
I'm Kevin Rowe from Lerner and Rowe, and we've been serving Arizonans for 20 years. Make the best choice after an accident. Call 977-1900. That's 977-1900.
Lerner and Rowe, it's the way to go. On 977-1900. 977-1900.
Bigger fields, bigger events, bigger experiences. Arizona Athletic Grounds. Arizona Athletic Grounds is a 275-acre sports and entertainment destination for athletes, fans, and families. Located in Mesa, AAG is one of the largest multi-sport complexes in the country, with over 475,000 square feet indoors and more than 150 fields and courts. From tournaments to training to cheer, dance, concerts, and corporate events, the grounds does it all. Learn more at azgrounds.com. Let me remind you, Thursdays are where the weekend starts at Twin Peaks Restaurant. Grab an ice-cold Bud Light or a refreshing Michelob Ultra and catch wall-to-wall sports on massive TVs everywhere you look. Big games, cold beer, made from scratch food. Start your weekend early with Bud Light and Michelob Ultra. Thursdays at Twin Peaks. Eats, drinks, and scenic views.
Now it's time for our replay rewind. The top sounds of the night and whatever Rock decides to add. Let's get to it in replay rewind with Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B on ESPN 620 and on FM at 98.7 HD2.
Up a hit from Marner, knocked off his stick. Jack Eichel's got it, just 30 seconds left now. In it goes. Stone battles for it. Cut through Sandfield after it. Along the boards. They can't clear it now, do. Steered away by Travis. Right. And the Louisville center fans will tell you how this is going to end. 1 win away from the Stanley Cup. Brandon Butsy and the Carolina Hurricanes take Game 5.
That's right. Carolina now heads to Vegas for Game 6 on Sunday with a chance to win the franchise's second Stanley Cup. As we are out here, right Toyota Roc and Manuch with you today as we get into our replay rewind brought to you by Lerner in Row. One of the stars who basically got it all going. It needed to basically give Carolina a spark. Here's the power play goal.
That one wasn't solid contact. Svechnikov again. Back to Costas pair. Sisson's pressure. Svechnikov scores! Andre Svechnikov! A power play goal! In a 2-1 Carolina lead.
Period there in Game 5. Canes down 1, and that is where the momentum started to flip with Svechnikov's goal there. After the game, he talked about finally breaking through on the biggest stage with the 2 power play goals that he had.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of in our head. We know we got to get it done, and this is going to be the hardest game for us. And, obviously a big win tonight, and but all focus on the next game.
Saying enough, Svechnikov. Sean McDonough doing a good job. But it's interesting. You see those 2 goals on the power play, 3 on the day. He got, as you mentioned, he got the 2 of them. And then you got the biggest nights, got 1 of them. Just to watch this so-called rookie, this Massey kid, Bussy, 27-year-old rookie, just the way he's handling the net for Carolina and the onslaught of this Carolina team. And on top of that, how about Stahl, the 37-year-old savvy veteran?
5 straight.
5 straight?
Yeah.
I mean, hell, if he wins this cup, he could retire, go out of here. Well, hell, he could run for mayor of Raleigh, North Carolina, and just continue to show the progress as the leader of that team.
All right. Also, from the Vegas side, the goalie questions are now very real. Carter Hart, he struggled again after the game. John Tortorella was asked if he considered going with Aiden Hill. Aiden Hill, if you recall, was one of the Coyotes goaltenders. He didn't like this question.
John, did you consider at all going to Aiden Hill in the third period, or was there any conversation or thought about it?
Christ. That could be the stupidest question I've heard.
I love it.
John is honored again, isn't he?
It doesn't matter where he was. When he was with Philly, New York. I mean, he's the Bill Belichick.
He is.
Of the NHL.
A little feisty, a little ornery.
But players love him, just like they love Belichick. They love him. All right, the 26th World Cup, of course, is officially underway. Didn't take long for the first big moment. 9th minute, Mexico on home soil, and the first goal of the tournament. Here it was.
Throws against each other in the 1986 World Cup. Cicella was still down back. That's how we go. The Mexicans continue this. Big goal.
Man, that crowd was just going off.
Well,
great.
It was so much fun at Twin Peaks in Glendale yesterday. Have the huge contingency for Mexico in there, and every time they scored, the place just erupted. And we apologize for listening to all that goal and scoring. We had a blast out there, but to see that place was packed inside and outside with the Mexican fans that were there, all had their jerseys on, and to see that game and to see South Africa down to 9 guys the last 40 minutes of the game. 2 red cards, and then Mexico got a red card. So it was 10-9. The game ended that way, but Mexico, just the onslaught that they were, no match with the South Africans.
All right, today's Replay Rewind is brought to you by the law offices of Lerner and Row. Interact, need a check, just make one call. That's all, 602-977-1900, and always at lernerandrow.com. Let's get to the feed, Laz.
Let's check the feed. I've been out there scrolling so you don't have to. Every sport, every story, everything blowing up online right now. The highlights, the hot takes, the viral moments, the stuff you're going to be talking about all day. It's all coming across the feed. Here's what's buzzing in the sports world. Let's dig in.
It's Phil Mickelson in the headlines once again, but it's not about golf. Well, it kind of is. Reportedly, he had his membership revoked at the Farms Golf Club in Rancho Santa Fe, California. after allegations of being inappropriate with some contact, involving a female employee. He's been a member there for decades. Now, according to his spokesperson, they're calling it a misunderstanding. Well, now the attorney says there's been some misinformation that's been circulating, and now they're getting the defamation council folks together to see if they can go after the club or go after whomever. But the club did not name him, that being Phil Mickelson, directly, but said that he investigated a staff member, reported the report of the misconduct, and then took action. Now, this comes kind of at a strange point if you look at his career right now, because he missed the Masters, the PGA Championship. He's not in the U.S. Open field. He last played in a live event in March, and he had cited that he had some private family matters to handle. But this is now bigger than one club membership. He was, if you recall, viewed as one of golf's most marketable stars. He was doing all kinds of commercials. A natural fit to be a future TV analyst. He was once seen as being a likely Ryder Cup captain. Now, between LIV, his absence of the major golf tournaments, now the past controversies of gambling, and now the latest allegations, it's kind of uncertain to see. So I want to pose this question. When you think of Phil Mickelson today, is he still your four choices? Golf legend, LIV golf disruptor, controversial figure, or all of them?
Oh, man. You talk about not playing in LIV. You mentioned not till March. A lot of issues. It was this gambling many years ago. A lot of rumors out there. Just always seems to be some kind of minutia surrounding Phil Mickelson. I think he's hands down, he's a golf Hall of Famer. We know that, first and foremost, on the course, one of the best players that we've ever seen in golf. Now, these allegations, and folks, they're allegations until proven. But the club didn't waste any time, Roc. It was reported yesterday when this came out. They removed anything, everything, and then some Phil Mickelson from the club. Trophies, pictures, portraits, anything that had Phil Mickelson on it from this golf club has been removed. Now, I find that kind of interesting until things are decided, whether it be in a court of law or they take this to the next level. But to answer the question, there's definitely, I think, some issues here. It doesn't bother me as from his golfer's perspective. From his personal life, it seems like there's a lot of stuff going on in his life, and I hope he gets it corrected. I hope that some of these allegations aren't true, but if they are, I would think that the golfers, the so-called purists, will probably keep an arm's length away from Phil Mickelson until, if he has any issues or concerns, get cleaned up.
Yeah, I couldn't disagree with that. I think he's got himself in a little bit of a bind, and if he is struggling with some gambling or some issues,
yeah,
and he's getting help, good. I mean, I've always liked Phil Mickelson, with the exception of him taking the money and playing in Dubai instead of playing at the Phoenix Open, where he's got Phil's grill,
right?
And he's a big part of the Thunderbirds and everything here in Phoenix and Arizona State connection and all that. When he did that, I kind of lost my favoritism towards him as one of my favorite golfers, or one of the top 5 golfers that I enjoyed watching and following when I went to tournaments. But after he did that, he decided to take the money and pay $2 million, whatever it was at the time, to go to Dubai. The same week as the Waste Management Phoenix Open, I thought that was a bad move on his part.
And the shots at the PGA when he went over to LIV for a gazillion dollars, I thought were unnecessary. I mean, he had a lot of strong comments, which I could, when he was on the PGA, which he can voice his opinion, or he was looking to try to help the game on a few certain issues. But some of his comments going out the door, him and Greg Norman both. I mean, think about that. Greg Norman, one of the icons of the PGA for many, many years, goes over, runs LIV. He takes some shots at the PGA. Phil Mickelson goes and makes his $100 million, whatever it was, on LIV, and there's some shots at the PGA. I don't know why you have to do that. I've always learned, never burn any bridges on the way out, because you never know what goes around comes around. But Phil has just been this enigma, I guess, Roc, surrounding Phil Mickelson. Just the last couple of years has been really, really interesting to see. There is something there that I hope he gets straightened out, if there is something there. If there's some personal issues and whatever issues that are, and this latest allegation, I just hope it gets taken care of. But that club didn't waste any time. That stuff came down, it came out, it's gone, and good luck trying to resolve this situation.
All right, Carolina's one win from the Cup. The Canes, they took Game 5 in Carolina. They head to Vegas Sunday with a chance to close it out. We're going to catch up with ESPN's NHL telestrator and former NHL video coach for the Yotes, Steve Peters, will join us right after this Twin Peaks ESPN 620 Sports Center update.
It's now time for your Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B's ESPN 620 Sports Center update. I'm Matt Lazarus. The D-backs will look to halt their skid tonight as the road trip shifts to Cincinnati for a 3-game series against the Reds. First pitch is set for 4:15 with pregame coverage getting underway at 3:30 on 98.7 FM, also streaming live on the Arizona Sports app. And the FIFA World Cup has officially gotten underway, with action officially ramping up tonight as Team USA opens play against Paraguay at SoFi Stadium. Kickoff is set for 6 o'clock as the Americans look to get group stage play started on the right foot. Twin Peaks is the Go for Goal giveaway rolling, and 5 lucky winners will score a hosted soccer match experience, hotel stay, and a $250 Twin Peaks gift card. Enter for free at twinpeakssoccer.com and catch Michelob Ultra specials during all USA matches at Twin Peaks. TwinPeaksSoccer.com. It's eats, drinks, and scenic views.
Need to feed a crowd? Let Venencia's bring the flavor to your next event. We know you have a lot of options when feeding a large group. Ordering directly from Venencia's means you get the best service and the absolute best pricing. There's no per-person fee. Just tell us how many people you need to feed, and we'll come up with a perfect plan to ensure everyone's well-fed and happy. Grad party, office celebration, family reunion. Invite Venencia's to the table. Text catering to 411-24/7. That's catering to 411-247 or Venencias.com.
Hey, Arizona State football fans. London is calling. The Sun Devils are headed across the pond to face Kansas in the inaugural Union Jack Classic, September 19th at Wembley Stadium. It's the first college football game ever played there, and you should be part of it. For tickets, hospitality, and travel packages, visit UnionJackClassic.com or contact the Sun Devil ticket office. Join Coach Dillingham, Sparky, and the Sun Devils in London. Forks up.
Phoenix, if you need a plumber, call the team that does it the right way. Victory Plumbing Arizona. It's particular plumbing for particular people with upfront pricing before the work starts. So there's no surprises when the job's done. And here's a deal just for listeners. Tell them you heard Victory Plumbing on Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B, and they'll waive the service charge. For leaks, clogs, water heaters, or anything plumbing, book today at victoryplumbingarizona.com. ROC number 268603.
Living in the Valley of the Sun means we're always battling the heat on the golf course, at work, or just getting through the day. To stay sharp, you need more than energy. You need hydration. You need Phoenix Hydration Energy. Spelled Phoenix, like the city we love. Phoenix gives you clean, natural energy from green tea, plus 3 times the electrolytes of leading sports drinks. No crash, no junk, just pure performance. Grab Phoenix Hydration Energy today at 7-Eleven, Quick Trip, or Circle K. Phoenix Hydration Energy. Rise up.
Celebrate Father's Day this year at Vans Golf Shops by Worldwide Golf. Get Dad ready for the course with tailor-made TP5 golf balls. Buy 2 dozen TP5 or TP5X golf balls for $100. Need more ideas this Father's Day? We have gift cards in any amount, plus our online gift guide at worldwidegolf.com. Trusted by golfers since 1963 and home to the legendary 90-day 100% satisfaction guarantee. Vans Golf Shops by Worldwide Golf. Get there.
Are you a dementia caregiver? Perhaps you care for your spouse, family member, or friend. Whoever it is, being a dementia caregiver can build relationships and test them. I'm Bill, and I want to thank you for the care you have provided. I've faced similar situations, so I'm speaking on behalf of the Dementia Society of America, a nonprofit organization. Request our free guide filled with tips on care, planning, and much more. Go to 1-800-DEMENTIA.org or call 1-800-DEMENTIA. Thank you.
Time to talk with the best in the business. Steve Peters, Coach Pete, ESPN's NHL telestration producer, inside the coach's room analyst, and a former NHL video coach who knows this game frame by frame. Let's get into it.
Team Costas pair. Sisson's pressure. Svechnikov scores! Andrei Svechnikov! A power play goal! And a 2-1 Carolina lead.
All right, they would go on to win 4-2 in Game 5. They're now up 3-2, and they head to Vegas, Game 6 on Sunday, and a chance to win the franchise's second Stanley Cup. Coach Pete joins us now on the Right Toyota Ghost Line. What's going on, Coach? How you doing today? Just chilling by the pool?
Yeah, I'm not. I'm actually just walked in the house from Sky Harbor. I got 24 hours, my 24-hour Arizona layover. So do my laundry and head back to Vegas tomorrow.
Do you always carry a Sharpie with you when you're going through Sky Harbor? I mean, people stop you.
Of course. You know what I usually get asked when I'm going through Sky Harbor? Is, do you really know Roc?
Yeah, all right. Yeah. Add that to that. All right. So Vegas now has to find some answers there, Coach, right? In goal, on special teams, and against a Hurricanes team that looks like they're in complete control, at least from an amateur hockey fan, if that's the right way to say it. Is that fair assessment?
Yeah, it is. But this series has ebbed and flowed so much, and this was the first time that I think an opponent didn't have an answer. It was in Game 5. I think we've seen teams down by 2, 3, 4, even 4 Carolina trailed by at points in Game 3. And Vegas just wasn't in it. Vegas just couldn't get their traction. They couldn't create offense. And you're right. There are so many question marks now going into Game 6, and goaltending is clearly one of them.
So where's Jack Eichel been? Where's the scoring? Where's the progress? He had an assist last night. He's had a couple assists. Where's been that dude, that guy, that stud, the guy that can turn a game around in a heartbeat?
Yeah, it's really frustrating for Vegas that they haven't been able to get Jack Eichel going. And he's a guy that, you're right, he's got no goals in this year. He's got 2 assists or 3 assists now. He's not getting any time and space. Like this Carolina Hurricanes team, we call it smothering. There's just no room. And Eichel performs best when he's got time and space. And he's just not getting that. And you see it mostly on the power play, where he's so used to having time to create the good plays and find the right options. He looks up and there's a Carolina Hurricane right in his face. So he is not getting the time. So they need other players to pull up the slack. Unfortunately, one of the guys you go to for that offense in William Karlsson, he looks like he's gone for the series. So coming by offense is going to be the problem for Vegas here.
And Steve, it's interesting. You listen to the broadcast. They mentioned a couple times how Eichel is out of position. Number one, define that for me, or is that him trying to do too much because of what you just said?
I think it's his frustration. He's been going up against Jordan Staal the majority of this series. The 37-year-old veteran player is having himself a Stanley Cup final, and he defends Eichel, and he is frustrating the heck out of Eichel. In the face-off circle, Jordan Staal is dominating Eichel. And, Eichel was one of the worst face-off guys for Vegas at just over 30%. And Staal is almost at 70%, which is absolutely unheard of. And I think Eichel's getting frustrated, so he's trying to find more room. He's trying to find more space. He's trying to get away from Jordan Staal, and he just has not had any success so far in this year.
Okay, you've watched Jordan Staal for many, many years. What he's doing, savvy, quick, fountain of youth, whatever it is, what is it you see him doing that he was not been that prolific of a scorer, especially during this last year?
Yeah, it's funny. He wasn't even during the playoffs. During the first 3 rounds, he's a guy that just was almost non-existent offensively. He had a couple of goals and 3 assists through the first 3 rounds. There's something special happening with him now, and I think he sees how close he's getting to the holy grail of hockey, and I think he's getting to the net incredibly hard, but it's just compete level and how hard this guy is working right now for the guys around him, for his team. He's taken his game to another level. He's an older player that doesn't skate particularly quick. He's 37. They start to wind down. So what he does do, he uses his intelligence and his strength. And he's the guy that's getting most of his goals from right in front of the opposing goaltender, right in front of the blue paint, in front of the crease. He gets to that area. He's not afraid to be there. He's not afraid to get pushed around. And he's been tipping, screening, and getting those rebound goals. And I don't know if you'll ever see anything like this again. This is not who he is. Good player, really good player, but not this. he's something special right now in the Stanley Cup final.
Steve Peters joining us here on ESPN Radio 620. All right, Carter Hart's numbers in goal have not been good in this series. Is it time for the Knights to go to Adin Hill? I mean, I know former Coyote, a lot of people are fans of his, good guy. Coach Tortorella doesn't want to hear it, but what are your thoughts of the goaltending as a former goaltender?
It is funny. The response from Tortorella in the press conference yesterday was quite – he was harsh on the reporter that asked him the question, and he pretty much told him the guy was an idiot. The reality is Carter Hart, up until the Stanley Cup final, was one of the best goalies in the league in the playoffs. He had just over a 2.3 goals against average, and that has ballooned, almost doubled. He's given up 4 goals in each of the first 5 games. And right now, you can't say it's his fault. Carolina does get to the net hard, and there are other players responsible on the ice. But at some point, you have to go, these numbers aren't good enough. The problem is it's too late. You can't put Adin Hill, who hasn't played, he didn't even play in the last several regular season games. So he hasn't played since early April. And to throw him in now, I just think that if I was running the goalies, which I'm not, I would have liked to have seen him get a taste of action somewhere along the road in this playoff. And I think it's important that you get that second guy ice time, so when you have this arise, you're not in a panic mode. And so I think for him right now, I don't think they can go to him. And if you see Carter Hart give up a couple of early ones on Sunday in Game 6, you might see Hill come in then as an act of desperation. But Tortorella has made it very clear that his guy is Carter Hart.
Steve, I think I hear you saying that he might be a little worn down and maybe the Hill should have played a little bit more or rotated more so Carter Hart's more fresh. Because to your point, I don't know, you always talk to us about slumps from a goalie. Could that have been that he might just be worn down after it's all said and done because he's been playing so much hockey?
Well, the answer is yes, and you've seen it here. We go back to Arizona hockey with Karel Vejmelka. When he started playing 8, 9, 10 in a row, his goals against and his play would suffer. So I think we saw it on the other side of Carolina. Anderson, whether he's hurt or not, I know they're not announcing that, but Anderson got tired, and he's known for having those spurts where he can only play so much, and then his play starts to dwindle. And so they've been able to get Brendan Bussey up, but they put Bussey in the middle of a game that was out of reach. They put him when they were down by 4, go play. Go get some ice time, get the feel for the cup. This game's already lost, go play. And then they battle back and tie the game, and he becomes, I know they lose, but he becomes, oh my gosh, now you're our guy. So he went from being on the bench to now he's their guy, and he will take the rest of this series while Anderson, quote, rests, unquote. And he hasn't even dressed the last 2 games.
I was going to ask, what's the real score? I mean, Bussey's been doing great. The 27-year-old rookie, I love that, Steve, first and foremost.
I know.
But what is the story with that? I mean, I know hockey players are probably as superstitious as anybody, any sport. Kids playing well. So what is really the true story of this whole thing, at least from those of you talking in the back truck there at ESPN?
Yeah, I don't know. I think when you look at the 2 goaltenders here, I think Anderson, there's a couple of issues going on. I know he got banged in the head very hard on that non-goal back from Game 3, and people, the Carolina Hurricanes are adamant saying it's not an injury, but this player has a history of concussions and head injuries. So that's one thing to look at. Another thing, I talked to somebody else just yesterday, and they were questioning, he was very close to Claude Lemieux. Claude Lemieux was his player agent, and sadly committed suicide just prior to these during the cup, before the cup final. And Anderson was pretty shaken up by this. And it's funny because the conversation was about how people of different countries handle grief and death. And here in the United States, we handle it much differently than these players from European countries. And I'll bring up Oliver Ekman-Larsson, former Arizona Coyote. When his mother passed away, you really saw him slip away. And his game suffered not just for weeks, but for years. And he really had a hard time getting back and enjoying the game and being part of it and getting up to the level of play that he was accustomed to. I don't doubt that there might be something with that side of this with Anderson, too. Like, I think there's more going on behind the scenes than the Carolina Hurricanes are letting on to, and I don't think we'll see Anderson in games 5, 6, in 6 or 7.
What do you like about Bussey that maybe you didn't see during the regular season?
Bussy's a guy that he's a really extremely big goaltender. But you're right. At 27-year-old, this is a mature veteran guy that really hasn't had the opportunity to play in the league. And he just kind of came on the scene this year and he blew up. Like you've seen it before in the National Hockey League. We had the Hamburglar in Ottawa. You had Jim Carey for the Washington Capitals. Even Tim Thomas for the Boston Bruins come in and have one great year. And it just, everything clicks and everything falls into place and everything is going right. That's what's happening to Brandon Bussey right now. Everything is going right for this kid. Now, does this mean he's a number one goalie in the league next year? I don't know. Like, I don't know if this is just riding the wave and he's playing well and he's got that confidence, and if this is a long-term the situation for Brandon Bussey. But right now, even when Anderson was in the net, I started thinking, hey, they got to go to Bussey. He's more athletic. He's bigger. He competes a little bit differently than Anderson. And Anderson has seen this over his career where he has these little blips in the radar during the playoffs. He's been known to stumble. And so I thought we'd see Brandon Bussey at some point. And now, man, we're 48 hours and this kid could be lifting a cup.
Oh, man. So what are you working on for your podcast, or we got to wait till after the game on Sunday?
I tell you, I know because you're waiting for all my releases, because I know that's what you guys do. You're just sitting there waiting.
With bated breath,
Steve. Yeah, absolutely. The literally tens of people across this country that are waiting for this to come up. I've been doing. So I break down every goal from every game and what happened, good, bad, who made the mistakes, what happened. Unfortunately, it's hard to do when you're sitting on a plane. So you guys came first. As soon as this is over, I will get to that, and I do need to do some work for the truck and get ready for Game 6 and start seeing what we think each team is going to do. This series has been exceptional. I think Game 5 of all of the games so far in this series, people are calling it a normal hockey game. One team got ahead, they stayed ahead, and they won the game. The other ones have been dramatic and roller coaster rides, just like in the NBA. I'm hoping we get a game like that for Game 6, and I hope it's that back and forth. Hey, it's 3-1, it's 5-3, it's heck yeah, score. So I hope we get back to that for Game 6.
Yeah, because you don't want to start starting to research for the draft yet, right? You're not ready for the NHL
God
draft.
forbid.
Don't even talk about the draft. I get chills thinking about that with the Arizona. This time of year, we didn't even know the playoffs were going on. We're looking at ping pong balls.
June?
Like
hockey in
we're
June?
2 months in. Yeah, exactly. We didn't know they played it this late. Yeah, we were well into the draft speak by now. So it's nice not to have to worry about the draft.
He just got home, Rocky's got to do his laundry. Give him they'll take a blow. He's got to go check on the plants.
He needs to walk the dog 3 times.
Yeah,
and then
that's
he needs
true.
to.
Rock,
No.
the dog's not here. Yeah.
Oh, sorry, dude.
Wiley.
My bad.
Sorry, man. Yeah. You know how important Wiley was in that.
No.
that
Poor,
day.
how long ago?
No more dog walking. 2 months. In a couple
all right.
months.
So you get a little, like maybe Clark, like after Bobby Clark. Are you ready for another, maybe Donor? Get a dog named Donor.
Yeah, you know my wife,
it.
and you know how much she loves dogs. She's ready. This
all
guy,
right.
Maybe we need to take a little break. Break. Sleep
All
in every once in a while. Not go on those walks.
You
get to
probably
the back of the neighborhood. He'll be here. The new
we used
guy.
to walk that dog like 10 times a day. This dog was so sweet.
Yes, we did.
He lived a really
We were
good life. Yeah.
We also wanted to walk by your house. It was like, is he home? Is he home?
Yeah.
What's he doing?
Well, I don't know who lives there now. It's not me.
Celebrity in
So.
our neighborhood.
Yeah, well, the neighborhood's better with me not there, probably.
Oh,
Hey, Coach, we'll be watching after Game 6, so don't work too hard. We'll talk to you next week.
Can't wait. Let's hope Vegas wins this one so we can get to see a Game 7. I think that's what everybody in sports always wants to see. Let's see a Game 7.
Doesn't get any better. NHL's Game 7 will be awesome. That's Steve Peters,
Thanks,
of course, former assistant coach of the Coyotes, now NHL Insider and ESPN Telestrator. You can follow him on X, S. Peters Hockey, but check him out on YouTube as well. Next up, Texas Tech head coach is drawing some major national backlash for defending his quarterback. I'll tell you what that's all about next as we continue to roll from Wright Toyota. It's Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B here on ESPN Radio Phoenix. We're on FM at 98.7 HD2, of course, YouTube, and the Arizona Sports app.
Now open in North Scottsdale, it's the Orangedale Lounge. ODs, right off Thompson Peak and Bell. Next to Bash's, your new favorite dive bar has arrived. Cold drafts, chill vibes, always affordable prices, and the OD Mug Club, a one-of-a-kind membership you won't find anywhere else. No frills, just great people, ice-cold drinks, and a bar that feels like it's always been there. Follow at OD Scottsdale and get the scoop at OrangeDaleLounge.com. Orangedale Lounge. Dive in and drink up.
Join the team at All City Towing, Arizona's largest towing company and leader in roadside service. We're hiring dispatchers, call takers, lot attendants, drivers, and customer service pros ready to grow with us. You'll enjoy state-of-the-art equipment, consistent schedules, full health benefits, a strong 401k match, employer life insurance, and a monthly fuel allowance. Take your career to the next level. Apply today at allcitytowing.com. All City Towing, where your future is always moving forward.
I was in a wreck. I need a check.
I was in a wreck. I need a check.
I was in a wreck. I need a check.
I'm attorney Kevin Rowe. The insurance company's job is to pay you as little as possible. Our job is to get you every dollar you deserve. Call Lerner and Rowe today and let's make them pay. Call 977-1900.
The best defense is a good offense at Studs Against Bugs. Our Tri-Guard technology attacks pests at the source and keeps a barrier around your home year-round. Scorpions, shut down. Ants, benched. Spiders, game over. Right now, new customers get their first treatment for just $99, a $229 value. No contracts. Call or text 480-670-4529. Or visit studsagainstbugs.com. Studs Against Bugs, defending the valley one home at a time.
Right in the heart of Arizona Athletic Grounds, one of the largest youth sports complexes in North America. Bristol's is the ultimate hangout for families and sports fans in Mesa. Come experience amazing double-decker cheeseburgers, award-winning wings, smoked barbecue, and fresh, craveable salads. With seating for 500, a full bar, 20 beers on tap, and over 100 TVs, happy hour Thursdays, Friday and Sunday from 4 till 6, plus trivia night every Thursday night. Bristol's, where Mesa comes to eat, watch, and win.
Summer's here. Grills are hot, flags are flying, and D-backs baseball is in full swing. It's the perfect time to step up to the plate in a new Sanderson Ford with employee pricing. Now you pay what they pay on America's best-selling trucks and SUVs. Choose from a Ford F-150 STX, Bronco Big Bend, or Explorer, all starting at under $42,000. If you're looking to save this summer, choose American value for American values. Choose Sanderson Ford, proud partners of your Arizona Diamondbacks. Employee pricing good through 7/6/26. Not all vehicles qualify. See dealer for details.
Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B want to take you back. A quick reflection on some of the more memorable moments in sports and pop culture. Now, time for your Right Toyota on this day report. Right Toyota, right on the corner, right on the price. Right Toyota in Scottsdale.
All right, let's get to it. If you love the NBA Finals, this is your day, June 12th. Might be the most decorative day on the entire NBA calendar. More championships have been clinched on this day than just about any other. We started in 84. Boston Celtics beat the Lakers in Game 7, win their 15th title. Then in 91, Jordan and the Bulls win their first championship with the dynasty that is now then born. Then you jump to 2002. Lakers sweep the Nets, finish off a three-peat. 2011, Dirk Nowitzki and the Mavs win their first title in franchise history of the Heat. 2007, former Sun Kevin Durant and his Warriors closed out the Cavs. And then the Joker in 23 leads the Nuggets in their first championship in history. So 6 different June 12 final clinchers. Pretty fitting as the Knicks and Spurs are going through it right now.
That'd be interesting. And then the Knickerbockers do it tomorrow, June 13th. They're enclosed in. Seems like always that mid-June's kind of that time frame in reference to the NBA's final. I mean, this will be the 8th straight NBA final championship team over these last 8 years. And it seems like you looked at Oklahoma City last year. You think you watch that team, you think, wow, that team's pretty strong. All the guys that they have, they should maybe in the next 2 or 3 years, at least another repeat. Injuries in this San Antonio team with Wembanyama pretty much shot that down, but I think a big piece of that was Jaden Williams being hurt. So another one will be number 8. And then if San Antonio can come back turn this into 7 games for another title by the San Antonio.
That's on your day, brought to you by Wright Toyota, right on the corner, right on the price. Wright Toyota here in Scottsdale. Joey McGuire is the Texas Tech head coach, and he has heavily defended his starting quarterback, Brendan Sorsby, who received a temporary injunction allowing him to play after the NCAA gambling violations. Now, it has sparked some national backlash, and it got amplified on Paul Feinbaum on X, and here he is talking a little bit about that, and we can discuss it after you guys listen to this.
Brendan Sorsby is recovering from an addiction. He's recovering. I've sat down with this young man multiple times. The things that he is going through and what he's been through is serious. As a society, we've been okay with other things that happens and allowing players to play. And this has been the one thing that has united people that we're against, It's crazy because it's not murder. It's not beating somebody. So there's a lot of things that we're working through.
So let me just kind of extrapolate what he said. Basically, when you break the laws of the NCAA, bet on your own team. Admittedly, so he did. There's got to be some kind of consequence for that. I understand what Coach McGuire is saying about, hey, he's suffering with addiction. There's a lot of things he's going through, and that's great. It's like a lot of people that have addiction, but they do crimes or they do something. They go and get help. That's well and good, but the crime's already been committed. And honestly, the other thing I think of just was it 3 weeks ago, there were 4 players at Alabama State that were popped for betting on their own team to win, to lose, whatever, for just $500. They're gone. NCAA, Alabama State, they went through this. They're gone for good. They'll never play college basketball ever again. And look at all the other situations with college basketball players that were popped for gambling, whether it be on their own team or just gambling against others. They're popped. They're gone. That's what the NCAA says here. This should be no exception. And I can tell you this, the commissioners, now you even have the commissioner, the attorney general
to
Oklahoma.
He's
chiming in.
Why?
But I think that, because, you know what?
Do you have any reason to?
Because I think it's if they talk about this integrity, whatever, somebody's got to be the adult in the room. I don't know if Brent Yormack, who's the commissioner of the Big 12, ignore the attorney general from, what's his name? Ken Paxton.
Who cares?
Yeah. To just go ahead and pull the trigger. So I just think that, that's great. He's getting help. I appreciate that. But in the meantime, there's got to be a consequence. There's got to be a line drawn in the sand that they can't allow this to happen.
All right. So you don't think he should play?
No, hell no. No.
Can't just be, you're the man of second chances.
Sure.
There are 23 years you and I have been doing this. This is the first time you're not giving a kid another chance.
Okay.
Why can't you suspend him for half the season? It's good.
Well, they're suspended for 2 games.
All right. Well, let's suspend him for half the season then.
I think that
he can't participate in a bowl game or a playoff game.
Because the consequences are, Rock, if this happens, and it has been precedent's been set by NCAA.
What kind of precedent?
Well, you're not allowed to bet on your team as a player. That's like the National Football League. You can't bet on any NFL games, period. That they should go ahead and suspend him for the year. The problem is, okay, but he's not going to be able to play next year because his eligibility is up. So if you suspend him for the year, then he would be able to come back. Well, he's not going to be able to come back next year. That's what this whole thing's about. They're fighting tooth and nail to have him come back because they've committed $6 million to this kid. And he was even bet when he got on campus. So I think that in the NCAA is right. The adult in the room has got to be either everybody's on board at Tech to keep him. And I think that's wrong because the backlash is going to be overwhelming for this kid to go to whatever stadium he's going to go to on the road. The backlash on the kid, number one, it's just the right thing to do because it's number 2, it's a bylaw in the NCAA. You cannot bet on your own team at all, period.
What does it say in that I know you don't know it off the top of your head, but what is the infraction, or what is the consequences if you break that bylaw?
I think it's either you're kicked off the team or 1 year suspension.
Okay. So what if he gets 1 year, give him 1 year suspension, then he's still got 1 year eligibility?
But
so he can play next year?
Well,
sit out this year?
He could. Yeah.
So would you be okay with that?
I'll be okay with that. Suspend him for a year. But the appeal is not till he's allowed to play. The appeal's not till February because they can't get to it till February.
Yeah.
So I hear this from these coaches, all these Texas Tech people, just do the right thing. Suspend him. If you get him eligible next year, go down that road. But the problem is he can't. So now,
well,
he's going to be eligible for that supplemental draft.
Whatever happens here, it's going to open Pandora's box, and we'll start hearing about other deals or other situations with other players that probably did the same thing, just haven't been caught yet. And the NCAA has to handle it the same way.
Exactly. Yep.
All right, Knicks 1 win away from their first NBA championship in more than 50 years. And then Wemby and the Spurs are fighting for their season. We're going to catch up with AP sports writer and a guy who's been covering New York sports for a long time. Brian Mahoney will join us next. Right here, Wright Toyota here on a Friday. Be here till, 4 o'clock. Waiting for Mr. Softy. He should be here in about 15
Where is
minutes.
Mr. Softy?
It's about 2:15. He'll be here at Wright Toyota. We're looking forward to it. All right, continue on. Hour number 2's next.
Patrick was way behind on his IRS taxes.
I was in way over my head. The total amount ended up being somewhere just over $30,000. $30,000.
Then the IRS came to collect.
Started getting letter after letter. A lien had been filed against me. They were going to basically hang me completely out to dry.
He had to do something.
That's when I reached out to Optima Tax Relief.
Patrick's life quickly got a lot easier.
It was very easy, pretty much hands off. They picked up the ball and ran with it.
And how'd it go?
I couldn't believe it. I had to ask 2 or 3 times. I saved an incredible amount of money.
How does Patrick feel about Optima?
Couldn't be happier. They definitely helped me. Optima Tax Relief, the best place to call. They're the best in the business.
Do what Patrick did and call Optima Tax Relief for a free consultation. Call 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460.
Optima Tax Relief.
Testimonial from an actual client. Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
Hi, it's Wayne from Emco, stopping by the station to check in with Roller. Hey, Wayne, what's going on today? Well, the biggest question I hear lately is, do you have to go back to the dealer where you bought your car to get service or repairs?
Wayne, that's a good question. Do you?
No, Roller. If you bought a new or a new used car and you have an extended warranty contract that's hiding in your glove box, please don't forget it's there and that you can use it at any Emco.
Oh, I thought you had to go to the dealer to keep your warranty valid.
Yes, most people do, but that's not the case. You can have your vehicle serviced at any authorized service center. And Emco is authorized by all of the major warranty companies.
Wow, that's great. It's so nice to have other options.
I'll say Emco has dealership quality, rental cars, no hassles, and faster service.
Wayne, that's great. And just to make sure, Emco does more than transmissions, right?
That's right. If you need your vehicle repaired or hear, feel, see, smell, or even think you have a car issue, please call Emco first or for a second opinion.
There you go. Google Emco for your nearest location. That's Emco, AAMCO, transmissions, and a whole lot more.
Arizona's headquarters for Toyotas is Wright Toyota. Hey, Rock, for my friends at Wright Toyota in Scottsdale. You will always find the right deal at Wright Toyota. Wright Toyota has been driving Arizona's home for years with their amazing service, pricing, and great selection. I encourage you to discover the difference at Wright Toyota. Make the right choice, Wright Toyota, just off the 101 on Frank Lloyd Wright Boulevard, and always online at WrightToyota.com. The right price, the right selection. Check out WrightToyota.com.
When it's game time in the Valley, you know what time it is. It's Twin Peaks time. Head to Twin Peaks with 5 Valley locations and massive screens everywhere you look. From basketball, baseball, to hockey, fights, and more. There's no better place to catch every play and all the action. Bud Light is a proud partner of sports fans everywhere. Twin Peaks. Eats, drinks, scenic views.
KTAR AM Phoenix, Arizona's home for the worldwide leader in sports, is ESPN 620. Friday. And the guys are live from Wright Toyota. Right on the corner, right on the price. Wright Toyota, located at 77th Street and Frank Lloyd Wright Boulevard in Scottsdale. Now back to the guys on ESPN 620.
Let's get go flat for Jalen Brunson. Allow him to operate at the top. 101.
Brunson gets it, fires up a three. Shot no good. The tip, it's gone. It's gone. It's gone. With 1.2 remaining. Let's take the lead. OG Anunoby, and it's 107-106. Bedlam here at the Garden. They can't believe it.
Yeah, the miracle in Manhattan and the Game 4 fallout as the Knicks hold a commanding 3-1 lead over the Spurs, of course, in the NBA Finals. And they are positioning themselves just one win away from breaking a 53-year championship drought. Of course, series shifts back to Texas, Game 7 tomorrow night at the Frost Bank Center. And what a historic Game 4. The 29-point deficit, largest comeback, of course. We've heard all the stats over and over for the last couple of days. And OG's now he's going to get a shoe line, all kinds of good stuff's coming out of this one. But joining us now, he's been part of it for a long, long time. Nice enough to join us here on a Friday. Brian Mahoney, AP sports writer and editor. He covers the Knicks and the Nets and USA basketball. And he joins us now here on ESPN Radio Phoenix. Brian, I mean, I know I don't know where you sit at the game or if you were at the game. Assuming you do. You as a kind of a fan behind the scenes as the Knicks, when that happened, did you get out of your seat a little bit, or did you do what you're supposed to do in the press box and just sit there with your hands, folded?
I did what I was supposed to do, but for sure, sort of. It was an exciting moment for sure. No one could definitely be sitting on their hands, whether you're a fan or whether you're media. I mean, it was historic. We don't see anything like that. A 29-point comeback, an incredible basket to be the game winner. So we were all enjoying being there, knowing that that was just something that we'll be talking about forever.
For San Antonio, they hit a finals record 14 3-pointers in the first half. They're cruising. And then in the second half, they just collapse. And can you put a finger to what changed in that second half and what the Knicks did to have this team, basically that team kind of slow down and have some pretty big blunders, especially their veterans?
Yeah, it's one of those, the cliche is, right, it's you have to come back, half collapse. Both teams have to contribute. San Antonio went cold. For sure. I think the third quarter was huge. The Knicks they were still up 15, but the Knicks went on a 13-0 run, and it just breathed some life into it. If San Antonio hits one or two shots there, they played some bad third quarters. Mitch Johnson even said it, and that was a real bad third quarter. All of a sudden, when it's been 20-something and all of a sudden it's 15, that doesn't feel quite so bad. And they didn't play better in the fourth quarter. If they had rebounded quickly, they could have put the Knicks away, but they did not, and they just kept leaving that door open. And to the Knicks' credit, they just kept on coming.
I enjoyed your article on OG Anunoby yesterday talking about this young man, and didn't really do a lot for Toronto when they won their title, but quietly is maybe heads on, might be the MVP for this if they win it all. But I thought what your article really talked about is he's quietly, unassumingly been productive, leading in scoring, just kind of doing his job as that quasi-veteran for this Knicks team. Elaborate much, because after the presser, he was like, yeah, it was a good game. Is he always this subdued or low-key or humble in covering this young man?
He sure seems that way. He is not a big talker, not impressed by anything, it doesn't seem like, but he is an unbelievable player. And I've said this, when you're watching NBA a long time, it's hard to really tell guys who stand out. These are some of the best athletes in the world. But when you get a chance to sit close enough and you see OG Anunoby, he is just physically better than these guys. He is on both ends, how fast he is, how strong he is, what a quick leaper he is. He's in that category that is above and beyond most other guys. And, right now, if this series ends quickly, I certainly think he's in the running to be MVP.
Also, Brian, it's interesting how you kind of break it down. He gets the block on De'Aaron Fox, ill-advised layup, comes in, does the inbounds pass, gets a tip, and we've seen that. But a lot of people fail to realize he was 7 for 9 from three-point shooting, and he shot over Wemby a couple, 2 or 3 times. Just the all-around player, kind of I hate to say it, after several years in the league, he's the coming out party of OG Anunoby by the rest of the basketball world, so to speak.
I think it's a great way to look at it. Jalen Brunson said, yeah, we know we see a superstar to us, and maybe the rest of the world doesn't know that, but the rest of the world is catching on the way he's playing right now. And, yeah, you say 7 of 9. Again, he shot the ball incredibly, and that's part of what made that last play so unbelievable. He probably thought there was a chance a lot of guys would have stayed where he was when the Spurs kind of doubled Jalen Brunson. Might have thought they're just going to pass it back to me here to shoot it. And instead, he just ran toward the basket when Brunson shot it, and no one stepped in front of him. And just an amazing smart play and amazing physical play to be able to, that's not easy to do, to tap it in when you're running full speed forward like that and control it.
So no team in NBA history has overcome a 2-0 deficit in the finals after losing the first 2 games at home. We know all that stuff like that. But when you look at what now San Antonio needs to do to flip the script, what do you think Mitch Johnson is telling his team right now? What do they need to do? And what quarter is the most important quarter tomorrow night? I mean, obviously the last one, but,
I think for them, they're obviously hanging on to the fact that they've probably should have won at worst 2 games in this series. They've been up by double digits in all 4 games. They know they're getting off to good starts, so I don't think they're worried that the Knicks are going to come crush them early. But, yeah, the second and third quarters are when things have started to get away from them a little bit. This time, not the second quarter, but then the third quarter completely. So the middle of the game, once we start getting to the rotations and stuff, the Knicks are just finding combinations that are coming in and playing well. Spurs are not, and it's forcing their guys to, I think, play heavier minutes. It's wearing down Wembanyama a little bit, and we're seeing in the fourth quarter that the Knicks seem to be fresher and ran past them in 2 of the games.
It's interesting you say that. I mean, it's Mike Brown always uses bench a lot. You know that, Brian. But 7 guys off the bench in that game, and you just said it, they just seem much fresher. They can keep coming. They got their second win, that being the Knicks. They came on and on and on. They're ferocious on the defense. And you watch this. I mean, even Alvarado. I mean, okay, wow, this kid from Puerto Rico comes in, lights it all up. Josh Hart basically has a chance to win it, but he blows the layup. But to your point, I mean, it's like Mike Brown's not afraid to use anybody at any particular time.
No, and it's pretty amazing because, so there was obviously a lot of focus on when Tom Thibodeau was here. He didn't play the bench enough. You just think, that's just what happens in the playoffs, right? You reduce the rotation, you play more. But when Mike Brown, we've seen, like the other night, Deuce McBride off the bench has not had a good shooting series. A lot of other coaches would say, okay, I'm just not going to play him and focus more on whoever the starter is that he's coming in for. Instead, he's just bringing someone else in, giving Alvarado a chance, playing Landry Shamet more minutes, bringing Jordan Clarkson, who hadn't been in the rotation at all that much. He's having a great series. So, yeah, he just keeps tapping the buttons, and those guys are ready to play whatever role they had previously. If they get a chance now, they're playing well.
And Brian, the other thing, the other storyline that you write about a lot of guys is that the veteranship of the Knicks shone through to keep their poise just working at it. And on the other side, the youth kind of got a little flustered, frustrated, anxious on the other side. So it seemed like a combination of all the above for the Knicks to pull this one out.
Yeah, and the fact that that's a great point, too, that they just did it in the previous round, I think really helped them. They were down 22 in the fourth quarter against Cleveland in game 1. And all of a sudden, as bad as things looked the other night, the margin was better by the time they get to the fourth quarter. They were closer than they were in that game. So these guys know they can do it. And for the Spurs, you just don't see it very often when you're playing a team who keeps coming like that. You figure we're going to hit 1 or 2 shots to stem their run. They're going to go a little bit cold. And I think San Antonio didn't really know what hit him in that second half. And, only scored 30 points, give up 58. They just completely, on both sides of the ball, were overrun.
Brian, there's reports that Knicks fans have purchased over 55% of the available tickets there in Game 5. I mean, wow. Is this going to be MSG2? I mean, what are we expecting to see here tomorrow night or here?
It's sure looking like it. I mean, listen, San Antonio, I've been down there many times. Great fans, just like some of the other cities that the Knicks have gone to are good fans. But they're throwing numbers out there that it's hard to say no to. It's when you're a New Yorker who's got this money to burn, and hey, is it that important to go to a game? Maybe it's San Antonio, or maybe it's not. I've seen the Spurs play many times, and I'm going to go take $8,000 for my ticket. Who knows? So, yeah, it would not surprise me. We've seen this in the playoffs before, and it would not shock me again if we see a lot of Knicks fans, 50-50, if not more.
Yeah, that'd be crazy. Brian, last one. If New York wins, the league's now going to see 8 different champions in 8 years. Is this parity that you think that's healthy for the NBA, or because I think there's fans that like parity, but then they like the dynasty type teams. What's your thought on that?
I never really know the answer. The NBA wants parity like the NFL has, where if you're a smart team, doesn't matter the market size. You could be Pittsburgh, Green Bay, whatever, you can win. But people also like super teams. They like, teams who can win 3 or 4 years in a row. And I think the ultimate answer is just it's up to, listen, it was cool to have parity last year, but in Indiana and Oklahoma City just didn't impress a lot of the country. Right now, the Knicks being in the championship the TV ratings are enormous. To see Wembanyama against the Knicks, and his new champion this year would be great. The people say parity also. So I don't know. It's just ultimately up to whether the fans sort of were into the team who was the next champion, and it seems like this year they are.
Brian, as always, buddy, we appreciate you, man. Thank you, and we'll be keep reading your stuff and enjoy the next couple days.
I appreciate it. Take care.
Thank you. That's Brian Mahoney, Associated Press sports writer and editor. He's been covering the Knicks for a long time. Also, USA Basketball. You can follow him at Brian C. Mahoney. So appreciate his time. All right, a little Rock's Man Advice. I normally do it on Thursdays. I was off yesterday, but it has to do with someone who swallowed an AirPod. Coors Light made a sleeve that holds 36 ounces of beer at once. And science says the day you should start picking sleep over going out is closer than you think. Rock's Man Advice is dead ahead right here on Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B.
Let me remind you, Thursdays are where the weekend starts at Twin Peaks Restaurant. Grab an ice-cold Bud Light or a refreshing Michelob Ultra and catch wall-to-wall sports on massive TVs everywhere you look. Big games, cold beer, made from scratch food. Start your weekend early with Bud Light and Michelob Ultra. Thursdays at Twin Peaks. Eats, drinks, and scenic views.
When it comes to your roof, you don't want to mess around. And Arizona homeowners and business owners have known that for over a decade. State 48 Roofing is Arizona's #1 referred roofer. Residential, commercial, they do it all. And they've been doing it right here in the Valley for over 10 years. Protect your home, protect your business. And hey, keep your roof sexy with State 48 Roofing. Visit state48roofing.com or call 480-268-4509. State 48 Roofing, Arizona's most trusted roof.
Hey, it's Kevin Rowe from Lerner & Rowe, trusted across Arizona for helping injured people after serious car wrecks.
And I'm Sean Forrester, managing attorney at Lerner & Rowe Law Group. We may sound alike, but Lerner & Rowe Law Group is a completely separate firm focused solely on criminal defense. We handle serious felonies, DUIs, and misdemeanors with decades of courtroom experience. If you're facing criminal charges, don't wait. Call Lerner & Rowe Law Group now at 602-977-1900.
Growth is the way to go. Call 977-1900.
Rock for RightToyota.com. At Right Toyota, they'd like you to get to know them. Their goal is to make buying your next vehicle the kind of experience that earns your recommendation to family and friends. They invite you to use all their innovative web tools on RightToyota.com. So if you're looking for a new or pre-owned Toyota, head to their interactive website at RightToyota.com. The right price, the right selection, all at RightToyota.com.
We get it. A meal shouldn't cost you nearly $20. And we agree. At Venezia's Pizzeria, lunch or dinner for under $10 is still a thing. And for an even sweeter deal, stop in and grab a Slice Rewards card. Get a stamp for every qualifying Slice special. 10 visits, 1 free qualifying special. Simple. And every Tuesday, we double your stamps. That's your free pizza twice as fast. Venezia's Pizzeria, a family tradition with great rewards.
Hi, I'm John Erickson Tata, and you're invited to the 12th annual Walk with Enoch, a fun-filled event led by my friend Enoch, a 14-year-old boy who lives with autism. Join us June 27th from 9 to 1 p.m. at the Ability 360 indoor track. You'll help special needs families find rest and renewal at our Johnny and Friends family retreats. Come walk with us. Visit johnnyandfriends.org/walk for details.
Do you roll like rock when it comes to romance?
What do you say we go out on a date? Some chicken, maybe some sex. See what happens.
Rock searches the world for tips on dating, divorce, marriage, pop culture, and even... Yeah, here's Rock's mad advice.
60% of the time, it works every time.
All right, I don't really do this on Thursday, but we moved it today. I was out yesterday, but it's where I kind of give you some useless knowledge. Very appropriate for a weekend. You're going to get out and watch, head to Twin Peaks, watch the USA hopefully get a few goals on Paraguay, but we will Paraguay, excuse me, Guaguay, whatever. I don't even know where it is.
Paraguay. I think it's like southern, like down there.
So you know
Guadalajara.
Doesn't matter.
No, it doesn't.
Do you know anybody from Paraguay?
I don't. I've never met anybody from Paraguay per se.
What do they speak? Paraguay?
I think it's. I'm going to say
Paraguay.
Like Spanish.
Anybody know? Laz, you should know that. You just got out of school. I mean, you should know.
What's a
They speak Spanish and Guarani.
Guarani. Okay. Spanish.
I didn't know that. I used Safari.
That's good. All right, at least you admit it. All right, you always got to source it. All right, a woman accidentally swallowed her AirPod after mixing up with her vitamins. She didn't realize it until her phone said that the AirPod was still connected. Poison Control told her to wait it out, and TikTok followers became oddly invested in her journey.
Well, I bet.
5 days later, X-ray confirmed it was gone. She never found it, but she knows it was completed. It went through her system.
Flushed through her system. Can you imagine that? I mean,
we're trying to think of like what's the weirdest thing I've accidentally swallowed. I don't know, man. I just
man,
probably a coin, maybe.
A coin? No, I've never done that. I think I've taken a pill or two I wasn't supposed to take.
Oh, that's normal. But
Yeah.
but something.
No, nothing like that I've taken.
How rich is Arizona? Well, Wallet Hub ranked states by income levels, and the richest states were Virginia, New York, and New Jersey. Arizona landed in the middle of the pack, well behind states like Utah, Colorado, and Washington, but ahead of many of the southern states. So that's not bad.
Not bad. Yeah, I can see that East Coast, Northeast Coast area is that richest states. Big money over there.
Because one beer wasn't enough. Coors Light has unveiled the Taller Boy. It's an 18-inch stainless steel koozie that holds 3 beers at once. That's 36 ounces of beer in one sleeve.
So you just stack them in the one sleeve, or is it just one big can, 36 inches? Out they've
3 cans.
3 cans. Man, that's somebody. I mean,
there's people that love their koozies.
Yeah.
You got them in your golf bag.
Sure.
I got a bunch of guys at Arena that I hang out with, and they sit at the bar with their koozies, with their can, and they put their koozies over the draft glass.
Are they serious?
Yeah, Fred, if you're listening, you know, I mean, I don't get it.
You know,
I mean, I understand, you know, these guys that are drinking the bottle or the cans at the bar, but when you put it on your pint glass, that's just, I think, it's people, I don't know.
You know, it's interesting when we're out when we have koozies with our marketing information on it. They go right for the koozies. If we have keychains or koozies or whatever, they all go for the koozies. And used to go, hey, just one per. You guys would take 2 or 3 of them.
All right, up and at 'em. Well, here are phrases. People admitted phrases they butchered for decades. Up and Adam instead of up and Adam.
Okay.
Adam as an A-D-A-M as a name.
Oh, okay. Adam.
Play it by year instead of play it by ear.
Okay.
Cease and assist instead of cease and desist.
Oh, really?
And then wheel barrels instead of wheel barrow.
Okay. Interesting. The common English language.
Yeah. Parenting hack everyone missed. A mom went viral on backwards beach day. Instead of fighting crowds and heat all day, sleep in, have lunch, let the kids nap, hit the beach at sunset. Less heat, fewer crowds, happier kids.
Well, so they say till sundown, which is probably sun stays up back east. You're back at 9 o'clock? You're back there for a good 4 hours.
I was in Chicago all this week, and man, it was like 9:30. It was
got
light out.
I can see that's pretty smart for moms to do that.
Yeah. You missed what? A new survey says 1 in 10 adults have missed a once-in-a-lifetime moment because they were looking at their phone. How about that?
I
Other
can see that.
stats: 56% scroll during family events. 48% have to rewind shows because they weren't paying attention.
Yeah,
I've
been
done
there.
that a lot.
I've done that.
And I do this much higher than this percentage. 66% of us grab their phone for no reason. I'm always just,
I've always got to read. You know what?
I would love to know how many times I look at my phone.
You bring that up about it. I remember when the Pope had passed away before Pope Leo came through, and he was coming through the States, and he was coming through Philadelphia and New York. And I just sat there and watched all these people with their phone. He'd be like where you are, just 3 feet away. They had their phone right there. I'm like, put your phone down. There's the Pope. Just look at the Pope. And they're like
Got
their
a
phone.
video. There's a video and live video. They're streaming it.
I know, but I mean, it's kind of like these right there. I mean, you can put the phone down and he goes by. I just am amazed that people see a guy 5 feet away and you're videotape just first looking at the person from right there.
All right, things that used to be normal but now feel rich.
Okay.
Things people say now that feel like a luxury.
All right.
Red meat.
Yeah.
Vet bills.
Well, you know that.
Yeah. Movie tickets,
Yes.
concerts, babysitters, cable TV, sneakers, dentist visits. Those are
All the above. I
those.
mean, every one of them, you go, yeah, concert tickets, the dentist. Thank God you have a good dental plan. Thank God we have a good one.
The loneliest color in America. Sherman-Williams has identified its least purchased paint color.
Okay.
It's called offbeat green. And it looks somewhere between a broccoli soup and like slime. Remember that?
Yeah, remember
that
slime?
green
A Nickelodeon,
slime? Yeah. Now they're using it in a marketing campaign with LeBron James.
Is he going to wear the color?
I don't know.
How would he do that? I mean, make
It's
the commercial with Sherwin-Williams.
Williams color. Nobody wants that paint. So
I would never use that paint.
all right, practice dating. There's a new trend
Practice dating?
called practice dating. It encourages singles to go on dates with people who aren't usually their type. Low pressure. It can help you improve your conversation skills. You can maybe build some confidence.
So if you're not attracted to a woman, it happens to be a good friend of yours, and you just, hey, look,
I need you to go on a date.
I need to
practice.
I want to practice, and let me
I'd
know where
open the door. Not sit on the same side of the booth.
Oh my gosh! I mean,
We're officially old. Dad rock alert. Here we go. Bands that are now considered dad rock.
okay,
You know who you are because we're all that age.
yes,
Blink 182 is number one.
okay,
Foo Fighters, Green Day, Linkin Park, and The Offspring.
yeah, I could see
You
that.
listen to these in high school. Congratulations, you're a dad now. All right. What got ruined by popularity? Internet users say these were ruined once they got too popular. Airbnb.
Yep.
Food trucks.
Yes.
I lived in Philadelphia in 1990. You would go to a food truck every day, get that cheesesteak, get that whatever, and it was awesome. Now there's one on every corner.
See, I didn't know what a
And they're great, but they're not.
See,
We
we'd
not
have
the
them out
same
here.
anymore. They're everywhere.
When you came out here, hell, Rock, with your innovation for marketing, you could have did food trucks right from the get-go. We didn't know what food trucks were out here till what, 10, 12, 15 years ago.
It's been
It's probably maybe 20 years it started to pop up. I remember there was a lobster food truck, then a taco truck. They would have, they were great. They came in from Maine, though. So they were over there by downtown Scottsdale, Old Town. There'd be 3 or 4 trucks every Saturday promoted. There'd be lobster, there'd be taco, like 5 or
I
6
know.
of them.
Yeah,
It's
they're
like
everywhere.
no big deal. Yeah.
So that they kind of got ruined. They're still great. This isn't a knock on this stuff. Farmers markets, Black Friday, thrift stores, social media. Those are what the internet says. It was better before everybody found out about it. All right, the magic age is 32. Researchers say the age 32 is when people start choosing sleep over nightlife. People now decline plans after 9 p.m.
Yeah.
Avoid anything before 7:36 a.m. Cancel 4 events a month for rest, and say the perfect weekend has no plans.
You know, and as you get older, you to your point, the time's there. You used to go out. Let's go have dinner at 7:38. Then we'll go out, 9 o'clock. Not anymore. I mean, I think right around 30-ish, 32, we do early dinner plans, go out, date night, have dinner, and then we're going home.
All right, World Cup, of course, is finally here. The sports books, they're expecting some betting explosions across all of North America. And is this moment soccer becomes a major gambling sport in the U.S.? Is this going to be it? I was talking to a guy last night. He's telling me corner kicks, they're betting the over-under. There's an average of 7 a game and over-unders on corner kicks. And we're going to break it all down, and we will handicap, or at least Scott Spreitzer will, from DocSports.com, will handicap NBA and NHL finals. So that's all coming up after Laz gives us another Twin Peaks ESPN Radio 620 Sports Center update.
It's now time for your Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B's ESPN 620 Sports Center update. I'm Matt Lazarus. The D-backs will look to halt their skid tonight as the road trip shifts to Cincinnati for a 3-game series against the Reds. First pitch is set for 4:15, with pregame coverage getting underway at 3:30 on 98.7 FM, also streaming live on the Arizona Sports app. And the FIFA World Cup has officially gotten underway, with the action really ramping up tonight as Team USA opens play against Paraguay at SoFi Stadium. Kickoff is set for 6 o'clock as the Americans look to get group stage play started on the right foot. Twin Peaks is the go-for-goal giveaway rolling, and 5 lucky winners will score a hosted soccer match experience, a hotel stay, and a $250 Twin Peaks gift card. Enter for free at twinpeakssoccer.com and catch Michelob Ultra specials during all USA matches at Twin Peaks. twinpeakssoccer.com. It's Twin Peaks with eats, drinks, and scenic views.
Now open in North Scottsdale, it's the Orangedale Lounge. ODs, right off Thompson Peak and Bell, next to Bash's. Your new favorite dive bar has arrived. Cold drafts, chill vibes, always affordable prices, and the OD Mug Club, a one-of-a-kind membership you won't find anywhere else. No frills, just great people, ice-cold drinks, and a bar that feels like it's always been there. Follow at OD Scottsdale and get the scoop at orangedalelounge.com. Orangedale Lounge. Dive in and drink up.
Join the team at All City Towing, Arizona's largest towing company and leader in roadside service. We're hiring dispatchers, call takers, lot attendants, drivers, and customer service pros ready to grow with us. You'll enjoy state-of-the-art equipment, consistent schedules, full health benefits, a strong 401k match, employer life insurance, and a monthly fuel allowance. Take your career to the next level. Apply today at allcitytowing.com. All City Towing, where your future is always moving forward.
Father's Day shopping starts at Van's Golf Shops. Get dad new clubs with Callaway. Trade in your current clubs and get 2 times the bonus trade-in towards any new Quantum, X-Forged, Apex, Riva clubs. Need more ideas this Father's Day? We have gift cards in any amount, plus our online gift guide at worldwidegolf.com. Trusted by golfers since 1963 and home to the legendary 90-day 100% satisfaction guarantee. Van's Golf Shops by Worldwide Golf. Get there.
I was in a wreck. I need a check.
I was in a wreck. I need a check.
I was in a wreck. I need a check.
I'm attorney Kevin Rowe. Being in an auto accident is traumatic. You need to call the best law firm that has the experience to get you the best results. Call 977-1900. That's 977-1900.
If you want to witness the world's biggest soccer tournament in person, look no further than Twin Peaks. Enter the Twin Peaks Go for Gold giveaway, presented by Michelob Ultra and Casamigos. And you could be one of 5 grand prize winners who get the VIP treatment, plus travel and lodging for your chance to win unmatched views of the match. Visit TwinPeaksSoccer.com to enter and choose your host city. Entries close on June 14th, so don't wait. Twin Peaks, eats, drinks, scenic views.
I work for the Arizona Department of Public Safety Commercial Vehicle Enforcement Unit. Any idea why I stopped you today?
No, sir.
I stopped you for distracted driving. Arizona law prohibits the use of electronic devices unless they're hands-free. Truck drivers see everything, except their blind spots. Cutting off a truck is like cutting off a freight train. It's dangerous, so stay focused on the road. Visit sharetheroadaz.com to learn how to drive truck smart.
Sponsored by the Arizona Trucking Association Foundation and the Arizona Governor's Office of Highway Safety.
Now, sports gamblers, Scott Spreitzer, one of the leaders and most trusted names in the country. Nobody watches and studies games more than he does. From TalkSports.com, here's Scott Spreitzer, exclusively on with Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B on ESPN 620.
We're going to talk some Team USA. We're going to talk some NBA, some NHL, and if we have some time, maybe some UFC Freedom 250. As Scott Spreitzer joins us now on ESPN Radio Phoenix. Scott, how you making out? We'll hold the Vegas talk. But last week, coming off a good week.
Can't complain. That's for sure. And the NBA finals, have been crazy, but fortunately for me, I stayed away from the side the other night in that wild comeback and just had the under. And guys, I got to tell you, I'm sitting there. This is what we do as bettors. It's 207 is what the teams had combined for about 2 minutes, with 2 minutes and 20 seconds left of the game. My under was 216.5, and I'm going, oh man, this ain't good. 207, 2.5 minutes to go. They're going to be at the free throw line over and over, and then both teams have problems on the offensive end, and we cash the under. So sometimes you need a little good fortune. And but what about today, man? This is a sports lover's great Friday. Sitting here watching College World Series on one TV, watching the World Cup on another. I mean, it doesn't get any better.
It really is. What a great weekend for you and us. You're in Vegas. We're in, and of course, Phoenix. The weather, it's hot, even though it's not too bad today here. But sports in June. Or we usually look forward to. We want to get to September as fast as possible. So, all right. Well, let's talk, Scott. Let's talk. Spurs are laying 5.5 at home in Game 5. Knicks getting 5.5 with a 3-1 lead. Where's the sharper side here? Against the spread? You got desperation mode? How are you looking at this one?
Yeah, off of that collapse by San Antonio and the Big Knicks comeback, the action's been hot and heavy on New York in a couple of books I've heard from. I think a little bit, sharp money so far. If I would go there, I would say might be on San Antonio right now. It might change because that line's been holding steady at mostly 5.5, even though, like I said, a couple of the books I've heard from have been taking a ton of New York Knicks money. And as far as the game is concerned, they're getting 5.5, like I mentioned, the Knicks, and total 216.5, which is where it was the other night. And then, of course, that complete brain freeze by De'Aaron Fox in the closing seconds. But there was a lot of little mistakes, I thought, from the coaching. Mitch Johnson, I was just watching Bickerstaff talking about, we need to kind of lay off a little bit of, coaches and all that. I'm like, are you kidding me? I haven't lost a single game where I haven't heard from somebody ripping me apart, in my betting.
Yeah.
So I'm just like, you got to be held accountable. And I thought he made a lot of little mistakes. He's a young coach. I give him a ton of credit for playing all these young guys, not being afraid to do that all this season. But he's got a long way to go before he's pop, So anyway, after that collapse, we're seeing Knicks money. It'll be interesting to see if San Antonio can get over that between the years. I think they can for the most part. They have won the first quarter through the first 4 games, each of the first 4. And I think they're going to do it again. And that's what I jumped in on so far, guys. You can lay 1.5 as low as that. There's some 2s out there, but there are enough 1.5s where folks can get it. And that's what I did, was lay the 1.5 in the first quarter with San Antonio, because it is an elimination game. They're going to have to come out, focused. And so far, that's been the thing. They've owned the first quarter. The Knicks have owned, the final 8 minutes of the game. And I think San Antonio can cover that number of 1.5 in the first quarter. I also played a couple of props. One of them, guys, that I played was Dylan Harper over 20.5 points plus rebounds. It's up to 21.5, and I'm not shocked by that because I was doing a show yesterday and talking about having made that bet yesterday morning, and I mentioned that I had made it 22.5. So the fact that it's gone up a point doesn't bother me and doesn't shock me. It's a total that he's topped quite a bit in this postseason, talking about Dylan Harper, and he's going to get his 30-plus minutes. I mean, that's what he's had so far in this, in this finals, is he's getting 32, 33 minutes a game. I think it'll be even more than that. A lot of times when I have props like this, I'm thinking, well, man, if my team is blowing out the other team, my guy that I have in a prop might sit the bench and get a lot of rest. But after blowing a 30-point lead, do you think San Antonio is going to take anybody out? If they're up 20 in the fourth quarter, they're going to leave them in. So Harper will get his minutes. I liked him over 20.5 points and rebounds, and I still like it at 21.5.
How about the leading candidate for MVP, Anunoby? What kind of prop bets are on him right now?
Boy, Anunoby's got some nice prop bets out there. Let me pull them up here, guys. I've got a few of them here that I can bring. Just give me a second here and bear with me. I didn't play on any of the Anunoby stuff. A lot of times what happens is when a guy starts getting hyped as much as he has, and he deserves it, then all of a sudden you got to, lay a premium when it comes to some of their props. I'm bringing them up right now, so just bear with me here, looking at the different books and what they've got. You've got stuff I don't know, Anunoby, like first player to get to 5 points. He's not the favorite in that, but he is as far as playoff points. Game points. He's looking at 18.5 right now, and actually the under is more juicy. So it's 18.5 on Anunoby's points total, $1.22 on the under, $1.08 on the over. So they're favoring the books, the under, a little bit more than they are in the over in that one. And you could play alternate points. They got alternate points on Anunoby. Again, if you walk into a book and say, I want his points total tonight, it's set at 18.5. But a lot of books, the good ones, they're going to let you play around with that. You can go, if you want to lay $1,200 to win 100 on the over, you could go as low as 10.5 points on Anunoby. Just got to lay $1,200 to win 100, guys. I know you got deep pockets, so that might be something right to do. 20.5 points over under. The under is -205, which means they're heavily favoring the under. And 20.5 points. The over would be plus $1.50, so you would get $15 back for every 10 you bet if you bet over 20.5. And they start at 10.5 points with him, and they go all the way up to 24.5 points. So you could bet every point total that you want in that neighborhood or in that span of 10.5 to 24.5 points.
I want to visit Mitch Johnson's real quick before we move on. The San Antonio 5.5 point favorite. Is that because it's at San Antonio? And then on the other side of that, San Antonio, there's a couple. They should have 2 other wins. If you look at it. So the yin and the yang of Mitch Johnson. How does the handicapper look at that when they handicap this game with Mitch Johnson?
Yeah, it's tough to put too much into Mitch Johnson coaching extremely well, or maybe having a couple of mistakes along the way because it's so random, And so I don't look a whole lot at that. That's one of those things you see after the game and go, wow, he's got a few more things to learn. It's not like he's doing a bad job or a terrible job, obviously, but make a few mistakes and all of a sudden it's death by 1,000 cuts, But the bottom line is the reason they're laying 5.5 is because the Spurs, they were the higher power rated team, and that's why you've seen New York 1.5 to 2 point full game favorites at home, while the Spurs have been upwards of 5, 4.5 to 6 when they're at home. It's just they're still going into this series the higher power rated team, and so the books have to make little adjustments, but they can't adjust too much because if you said, okay, well the Knicks are up 3-1, they look like the better team, and all of a sudden you take San Antonio from a 5-point home favorite down to 2.5 or 3, you're just going to get nothing but Spurs money, and the books could take a beating there. So they just got to keep going along with what they had before the series started, which was, the Spurs being the higher power rated team.
So these sports books, I'm reading and believe that this could be the biggest soccer betting event ever in the United States, Canada, and Mexico combined. Are you seeing a lot of action and props and things of that sort?
Yeah, I've heard there's been some decent action, more than usual for an opening game for, a World Cup action for Team USA. And I jumped in a little bit here, guys. You can get plus $1.05 on USA, and I put a few bucks on it. I had 2 plays yesterday. I went 1-1. I had the Mexico game over 2.5 plus $1.20, and that one lost. They got the 2. There were 3 red cards in that game. First time ever in World Cup history. There's been 3 red cards. Kind of hurt us there as far as, like, for instance, South Africa had no attack at all after getting the second red card. So ended up losing that one that I had last night. South Korea got the win there. So I ended up breaking even because of where the juice was on the 2 games. And today I didn't play the Canada game, but I did jump in on USA. So there has been some action. I love this time of year. I'm not the biggest soccer fan, but I do tend to look to bet a couple of the leagues. And when it's World Cup time, it's always a blast to go watch it in person. But what I did, the reason I took USA here, there's certainly more individual talent with Team USA than there is on Paraguay, especially on the offensive end of the pitch. They're also power rated or ranked 24 spots better than Paraguay. They do have plenty of experience, Paraguay. Their captain has 85 international matches to his name. They're all about defense. So I think USA gets out 1-0. It might be a 1-0, 2-0 type of game because Paraguay doesn't have much as far as an attack, but they are great on defense, or not great, but for their level. And their manager is all about defense. So it would behoove Team USA in my betting ticket if they can get out to the first lead and draw first blood.
Let me ask you, I had a conversation with a buddy last night. They were all in on corner kicks, and that the average game has 6 or 7 corner kicks that are betting the over and unders. What are some other in-game props that you would recommend looking at and have some fun with?
Yeah, I really don't get into all that stuff. I mean, Yeah, I mean, I really do just bet totals and sides, and when it comes to soccer, and that's kind of where I stick to it. I mean, it's one of those things where I can work around because of three-way betting in soccer, where you've got either side, or you've got the total, or you've got the draw. You can bet certain prices as to, here's what I'm going to get with the game ending in regulation plus injury time. But if it goes to extra time, I don't want that. I don't want to pay the extra juice. So just on side or total for me, guys, that's all I get involved in.
All right, NHL, Hurricanes at Golden Knights in your backyard on Sunday. Are the Knights going to be able to get one here?
Boy, I hope they can get over all these mistakes they're making. They're blue liners. It's crazy to watch the giveaways that Shea Theodore and Brandon McNabb have committed, and they did it again last night. There was a goal, one of the first or second goal for Carolina, basically a giveaway by one of the defensemen, and then they also gave away another one later. Same thing they did in the previous game in Vegas that was played here when Carolina jumped out 2-0. They had Shea Theodore giving a puck. I mean, he was the best assist man for Carolina, the Vegas defenseman, and then Brandon McNabb followed with the game-winning goal for Carolina by dishing it out in front of his own goalie right to an open Carolina player. So they've been making a ton of mistakes, but I'll say this, that's a little scary as a Golden Knights fan, not just a bettor, but a fan, is that last night's game was the first time that I've watched a game and I thought, wow, one team dominated the other. It's been a lot of mistakes, but last night Carolina was by far the better team over the final half of that game. And I saw it looked like they were forechecking for Vegas. Isn't what it was the first couple of the games of this series. Now they might lose Carlson. Big loss there if he's unable to go in this game on Sunday. The bottom line is somebody, one of you guys, give him a call. Tell Jack Eichel he's allowed to shoot the puck.
Yes.
And, did he have any shots? I don't think he had any shots the other night. He has no goals in the finals. He's a great assist guy, a great passer. But what it's done, because he's not looking for his shot, all of a sudden these last two games, Carolina's blue liners, they're playing Eichel to pass. They're taking away passing lanes. They're not even playing him to shoot the puck. So he's got to come out and change his game a little bit and start firing away. But it's a little scary right now for Golden Knight fans because I think Carolina looked finally like a dominant team last night. I think they got a great shot for this game to stay under the total. We've seen spot after spot. The public's going nuts, guys, here. The public bettors are loving life because every game's going over, or last night, for the most part, it pushed. Some people got the over. Every spot over the course of my 25, 30 years of doing this shows that the next game should be an under, and then it goes over. So I just stayed away from it altogether last night, watched as a Golden Knights fan and was disappointed as a fan. But I'm going to come back with the under on Sunday.
And last one for me, Scott, is Jordan Stahl, the 37-year-old captain for Carolina. Nowhere to be found for scoring the playoffs. What's he got now? 5 now? So
5 or 6,
any prop bets on Jordan Stahl?
Oh, man, I tell you, they haven't posted any yet that I've seen. But, it's like you just keep playing him over, or play him to score a goal, over half a goal, until he stops. It's like Niziorowski for Milwaukee. It's funny, this guy, just a comparison, this guy's allowed 1 earned run and 27 hits in his last 7 starts. It's like 29 innings, more than that, like 35 innings of work or whatever it is. And I'm sitting there and I'm looking at him and I'm like hearing people talking about playing against him. And I'm like, hey, you might get lucky and he has that bad game and he will have a bad game eventually, but why in the world would you play against him until he shows that he's going to have a bad game? And I feel the same thing about Stahl. I'm not playing against him until he gives me a reason to.
Scott, we appreciate you, man. Have a great weekend. And just quickly, I know last week we asked about it, but UFC 250, it's getting a lot of press. But you think is the card a good card?
I mean, it's okay. It doesn't, I think it's the pomp more than anything else as far as what, as I'm concerned. I mean, there's one fight that, I haven't jumped in yet, but I might because the price is jumping, and that would be on Diego Lopez. I've seen that price drop from like -$2 down to around -$1.50. He's going up against Steve Garcia, and they're both strikers. So this could end with either one of them, making contact to the right spot of that jaw. So there's that situation. But what I like about Lopez, and again, both strikers, is that he's much better if it does get down to the mat. That's where he can end this with a submission or just tie up Steve Garcia. And really, Diego Lopez has only had one fighter who's really controlled him. Other than that, he's been a guy who wins when he gets out there almost every time. I think he's 27-8 or something. But he's only been dominated by one fighter. I think he ends up winning this by decision against Garcia. That's the only thing that I might come close to wagering. Again, it's down to $1.50. It dropped 40 or 50 cents. Haven't decided if I'm going to jump in yet, but that would be the fight.
Awesome. Thank you, Scott. Have a good weekend. Thank you.
Take care, guys. Have a good one.
That's Scott Spreitzer, DocSports.com. You can follow him on X and Twitter at Scott Wins. Appreciate that. Well, this isn't just a soccer tournament anymore. Obviously, it's a big business in sports. FIFA's printing money. Fox has found a way to sell ads inside water breaks. We'll tell you what that's all about. And NFL players want to know why soccer gets real grass and they don't. We're going to get into our World Cup update next. It's Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B from Right Toyota.
Let me remind you, Thursdays are where the weekend starts at Twin Peaks Restaurant. Grab an ice-cold Bud Light or a refreshing Michelob Ultra and catch wall-to-wall sports on massive TVs everywhere you look. Big games, cold beer, made from scratch food. Start your weekend early with Bud Light and Michelob Ultra. Thursdays at Twin Peaks. Eats, drinks, and scenic views. When hot is not an option, Stay Cool delivers. From patios to warehouses, shops to summer events, Stay Cool's Slim Cool Elite and Cool Cube mobile air coolers deliver more air for less money. They're rust-free and backed by more than 40 years of experience keeping you cool. Available now online at Home Depot, Lowe's, and Tractor Supply. Shipped to the store or right to your door. Visit staycool-products.com. Slim Cool Elite and Cool Cube. Get yours today with free shipping and beat the heat.
When tragedy strikes, the impact is immediate and devastating. That's when the 100 Club of Arizona steps in, providing financial assistance, guidance, and emotional support to the families of public safety officers injured or killed in the line of duty. They also invest in mental health resources, injury prevention, and scholarships for the children of first responders. Every day, Arizona's public safety professionals put their lives on the line. The 100 Club of Arizona has their back. Learn more at 100club.org.
If you want to witness the world's biggest soccer tournament in person, look no further than Twin Peaks. Enter the Twin Peaks Go for Gold giveaway, presented by Michelob Ultra and Casamigos. And you could be one of 5 grand prize winners who get the VIP treatment, plus travel and lodging for your chance to win unmatched views of the match. Visit TwinPeaksSoccer.com to enter and choose your host city. Entries close on June 14th, so don't wait. Twin Peaks, eats, drinks, scenic views.
Before you fly, take a trip to your local MVD office or authorized third-party provider with your required documents and get the new AZ Travel ID with the Gold Star for your new driver's license or ID. Starting May 2025, this new AZ Travel ID gets you through TSA security checkpoints. It's quick and easy. Think of it as your license to fly. Learn how to get your new ID at aztravelid.com. Sponsored by ADOT in partnership with the Arizona Broadcasters Association and this station.
Action! When I grow up, I want to be a director because they get to talk to everybody about everything. They get to make cool movies and dance music videos.
If your child is sick over and over again, it could be PI, a defect of the immune system that affects millions. Early testing can give children a chance to dream.
And when I'm a director, I get to say, lights, camera, action.
For more information, visit the Jeffrey Modell Foundation at info4pi.org.
That's a wrap.
The U.S. is on the world stage, and there's a lot to get to. This is your World Cup soccer update, powered by Twin Peaks. 5 locations across the valley showing you every match, and Michelob Ultra pouring all summer long. Let's get you caught up.
August? No. World Cup here, of course, it's a cash machine. They're projected to bring in around $13 billion over this cycle. Roughly $8.9 billion expected just from this tournament alone. And the reasons are obvious. 4 teams, 48, 104 matches, 16 cities, 3 countries. And then it's the dynamic pricing that they're doing, ticket pricing. You know, there's tickets that are getting up there about $11,000. Hospitality is about $3 billion. And they're doing things like hydration breaks. Fox has turned hydration breaks into ad money. So they don't do this during the regular season or in the Premier League or anything like that. It's a mandatory 3-minute hydration break for all 104 matches. So on TV, those breaks have obviously become inventory for commercial opportunities. So they're using those windows for full screen ads and branding segments, including hydration breaks powered by Powerade, which is smart. So you do the math, 104 matches, multiple hydration breaks, all this new ad inventory. That's a lot of money.
It's a lot of dinero for just a 3-minute break.
World Cup is also creating a major football story. Several NFL teams that are hosting World Cup matches had to remove their artificial turf and install natural grass because FIFA requires it. I know out at Arizona Athletic Grounds where Turkey is training. It's the base camp. They've been folks out there, the facilities guys, been working on this special kind of rye with a mix of Bermuda. It is unbelievable, but they've been putting water on it like every 45 minutes, 15 minutes. I don't know what it's crazy amount of water to get these fields to where they need to be, and they're amazing. But now the NFL Players Association is calling out the NFL owners, and their argument is simple: if owners can install grass for soccer players, why can't they do it for NFL players? And the union says 92% of NFL players would prefer grass. So this is becoming, or will become, a major labor flashpoint heading into the football season. So it's interesting. I mean, anytime the conversation turns to player safety and surface and stadium costs and ownership priorities, it hits every single NFL market. Now, for Arizona, they have the retractable grass, which is smart. Sure, we're okay right now. We don't have to worry about it. But other cities, they do.
Especially the cold cities. You look at the Chicagos, the Green Bays, the Buffalo. They're not going to do grass because, all of a sudden it gets late October and November, that grass starts to die unless they can put the rye in, to your point, rye with the Bermuda, which is extremely difficult. And I played on natural grass back east years ago. It just starts to fade. I'll never forget playing my rookie year. We go to Minnesota, play the Vikings up there, December 5th, and it's green dirt is what it is. Yeah, and I'm like, how do they, that makes sense to have artificial turf. But the synthetic turf, I feel, that's out there now, it gives a lot. It's soft. It's not grass, but it's as good as they can make as close to grass as possible. And with some of that synthetic turf, you don't slip quite like you used to with the old AstroTurf. But I would say if you can make grass that makes sense for that area, and you're not going to get it in a dome stadium unless, like you said, the Cardinals can wheel it out during the week and wheel it back in, then the owners will go, wait a second, I'm in a cold weather climate. I'm up in Pittsburgh. The grass dies. It will be worse in November, December, January if we don't have the artificial turf. So there's two sides of that coin. If I'm a player, I just want, if the surface is soft, you can make your cuts, and it's not detrimental to you, just go with that, whatever fits that city.
Last one, U.S. Soccer is projecting some record revenue in this World Cup. They brought in commercial rights in-house, and now they project nearly $397 million in revenue. That is gigantic. So that means they cut out the middleman, and they're selling their own sponsorships, they're doing their own media deals, their own partnerships, all during this big soccer movement that is going on right now in America, as we all, well, at least myself, I'm so into it. I love it. I'm watching so much stuff online, and I'm leaning towards Turkey because they're playing in their backyard. I mean, I'm obviously rooting for USA, but I have an interest in Turkey just because they're training here.
Yeah,
I want them to get beat by U.S., of course, in the third match, but I like to see them do well.
Well, obviously rooting for the USA, and since Italy doesn't have a team this year, rooting for the other half, Roc, Chechnya, since I'm half Italian, half Czechoslovakian. They got beat by South Korea last night.
Saw that.
2-1. I mean, come on, guys. So the Manucci / Repko family is rooting for Chechnya. So there's our other homeland, if you will. But USA, hope to see them go very deep, if not Chechnya.
So if you are looking for a place to watch all of the World Cup, specifically Team USA, Michelob Ultra has teamed up with Twin Peaks, five locations across the valley, showing every match, pouring Michelob Ultra and doing Michelob Ultra specials. So check that out at any of the 5 locations. Yesterday we were in Glendale, and from what Manuch said, it
off
was
the charts,
absolutely packed with the Mexico fan base, as they were just from what I saw online, everywhere was absolutely packed.
It was. I mean, it was so much fun. I mean, and Andrew, who's the manager, said, he was talking to some of the other stores. They said they all had great crowds. I have great crowds again today, and back patio. And I would highly advise you get there early. Because parking is a premium at any of them.
Yeah,
any of the locations.
Wow, not really. Glendale's, you got so much parking out there. You're a lazy ass.
No.
You had to walk. You had to walk.
I walked.
Anger.
I literally had to walk. I think 300 yards.
Oh, really?
Because the tank. I mean, I didn't mind the walk. Which
there's plenty of parking. There's more parking there in Glendale Westgate than anywhere.
Okay, then you got to go.
Debbie Marketplace has got all the parking.
You got to go west of the Tanger Outlet parking. So you go to the far parking lot.
Okay.
It's only about
plenty of parking.
200 yards away.
You may sound like there's no parking.
Well, there wasn't
You're
around.
discouraging.
You're going to probably park at least a good 100 to 200 yards away unless you get there early.
Okay,
so
well,
get
100
there.
yards is not that long.
Well, it's 195 degrees outside.
It is what 97 today. We're in June.
It's going to be, but it'll still be 107 for the high. Nice overcast.
All right, the money line today. We follow the cash. We're going to dive into some of that next, business side of sports. We also are going to talk some World Cup as Graham Winkworth, Arizona State women's soccer coach, in his 10th year there, or just finished, or going into his 10th year. So we'll get to talk to him. And then Rick Kamla. So busy hour 3 is just ahead. Appreciate you tuning in. Appreciate you hanging out. We're on YouTube. We're on Instagram. We're on Twitter. We're on Facebook. We're all over the board. We encourage you to like us, follow us, subscribe. And we are at Right Toyota today. Right on the corner, right on the price, Right Toyota. Hour number 3 is next. Roc and Manuch today on ESPN Radio. 6-1.
Who is Farm Bureau Financial Services? At our core, we're relationship builders. We're home and auto bundlers, life insurers, farm and ranch protectors, and retirement planners.
This is a test of the emergency alert system. This is only a test.
Here in our backyard, sellers trust Purple Wave Auction to move their equipment, from excavators and ag equipment to trucks and specialty trailers. Our no-reserve online auctions help local sellers turn iron into opportunity. You get a dedicated territory manager who knows your operation, your market, and your timeline, backed by nationwide buyer demand, local service, national reach, real results. See why more sellers choose Purple Wave. Visit purplewave.com to get started today.
Hey, it's Gambo, and I'm with the president of Asset Preservation Wealth and Tax, Stuart Willis. Stuart, I've got a friend going through a divorce. He's worried about what it could do to his retirement. What should someone in that situation be thinking about?
Well, Gambo, the biggest thing is this. Divorce doesn't just divide assets. It can completely rewrite your retirement plan. Someone may have thought they were only 5 years away from retirement, but after dividing retirement accounts and pensions, home equity, income, and future expenses, that timeline may change.
So how do you help someone get clarity?
Well, we cash flow out the new retirement picture. At Asset Preservation, we use planning software like eMoney to model out their income, expenses, taxes, Social Security, everything. We don't replace the divorce attorney, but we can help people understand whether the settlement supports their long-term retirement goals.
Call Asset Preservation Wealth and Tax at 602-877-PLAN or go to assetpreservationwealth.com.
Investment Advisory Services offered through Foundations Investment Advisors, LLC, and SEC Registered Investment Advisor.
Arizona's headquarters for Toyotas is Right Toyota. Hey, Rock, for my friends at Right Toyota in Scottsdale. You will always find the right deal at Right Toyota. Right Toyota has been driving Arizona's home for years with their amazing service, pricing, and great selection. I encourage you to discover the difference at Right Toyota. Make the right choice, Right Toyota, just off the 101 on Franklin Wright Boulevard, and always online at righttoyota.com. The right price, the right selection. Check out righttoyota.com.
The best defense is a good offense at Studs Against Bugs. Our Tri-Guard technology attacks pests at the source and keeps a barrier around your home year-round. Scorpions, shut down. Ants, benched. Spiders, game over. Right now, new customers get their first treatment for just $99, a $229 value. No contracts. Call or text 480-670-4529. Or visit studsagainstbugs.com. Studs Against Bugs, defending the valley one home at a time.
KTAR AM Phoenix, Arizona's home for the worldwide leader in sports. Is ESPN 620. Money makes the sports world go round, and nobody follows the dollars like we do. This is the Money Line, where Roc takes you off the field and into the boardroom, the courtroom, and the bank. The deals, the contracts, the franchise sales, the billion-dollar bets, the business that runs the games you love. Grab a pen because this is your trip around the business of sports. Let's get into the Money Line.
All right, UFC's White House event generate $60 billion. Freedom 250 is on Sunday. According to Front Office Sports, the industry experts, they estimate the event could generate more than $60 million just through the sponsorships, the media, the ticket sales, hospitality, merchandise, and all that. Now, the story behind it is President Trump has publicly backed the idea of hosting the UFC event there at the White House as part of the, America's 250 year celebration, birthday celebration, and all kinds of things are going on with this. It's not really a fight story; it's more of an event business story. And the White House instantly becomes like premium inventory for the sponsorships, the ticket packages, the media rights, and all that. But UFC just isn't selling fights anymore; they're selling these experiences, and that's. I was at the Sports Business Summit Branding Innovation Conference this week in Chicago. And that's what everything is now. It's the experience. Not just putting a logo on a board. It's not about impressions like it used to be. Like how many impressions, how many hits? It's about the experience, how authentic the sponsor or the product is to the consumer or to the fan. So it's amazing how, there's a lot of backlash from a lot of people because the White House is hosting this Freedom 250. And it's an experience. And there is some talk, and I don't know how, if it's going to come to fruition, but the numbers are that there will be 1 billion people that will watch this fight. Put that in perspective. That's more than the Super Bowl.
Oh, yeah,
more
by
than
far. I mean, you're there
1 billion.
240 million to a billion. Now, this is going to be streamed on. Is it Paramount that's going to be streaming this? You got to pay, I don't know what the money is, but I think it's Paramount. It will be handling the streaming for this particular fight. So does that my whole question is, with that money, is that going to Dana White only? Is it going to go back to the government to pay for putting this fight on? How is that money going to be distributed with all the money that's coming or projected to come in?
I'm sure everybody's getting a piece. By the way, it's on CBS. So it's not a pay-per-view event, but it is also streaming on Paramount.
Oh, okay.
TV, so it's no pay-per-view required according to Paramount Plus. But I guess they're saying it'll start with 5:00, and they're saying watch on Paramount. So Paramount's going to get a lot of play here, but.
Okay, then that's it. I thought it was just strictly going to be.
I mean, that's what I mean. I don't know.
Dana White made a deal at the beginning of the new year with Paramount Plus, so there's no more pay-per-view fights. So every single fight every Saturday, whether it's just a main event fight or a pay-per-view, is all on Paramount Plus. So they stream every UFC card now.
So it will not be on.
So it's on CBS or not on CBS?
It is on CBS because it's such a big pay-per-view event, but you can also watch every fight now on Paramount without having to pay, as long as you have the subscription to Paramount.
Got it.
Yeah. So, it's interesting because, would you watch a UFC event on the White House lawn?
I'm not a big UFC fan, but if it's two guys that are top of the line like they used to be, I would watch it. I mean, to me, it's a UFC fight.
Because and Laz is a UFC guy. It's more about where they're having these events. Now that you're seeing UFC
that is unusual
on ESPN,
They're live from Italy. They're live all over the place.
Yeah.
It's all about the experience. It's not about the fight. I don't even think people are, well, unless you're a diehard, you care about who's fighting.
Yeah, and I think that for me, wherever they're at, I mean, whether it's the White House or here or there, I guess I'm just more intrigued with the actual fight. I don't care where they have them. I think with the instance with the White House and that whole area right there, it's as long as that that money that they spent to set that whole thing up is being reimbursed back to the government to help that set up. From that standpoint, I don't care.
Utah, the hockey team, formerly the Coyotes, their owner Ryan Smith has sold a minority stake in the franchise to a private equity firm, and it's got Atro, I believe, Capital, and it was founded by a bunch of executives from another private equity company called Redbird Capital, and I guess they're involved in Formula One, soccer club, some other sports media ventures. So now they're investing in NHL hockey, and yes, why does that matter? This isn't a hockey story anymore. It's another sign that private equity continues to flood into pro sports. Teams are no longer viewed as just these sports franchises. They're now media companies, they're real estate plays, it's content, and it's some large investment assets that they have. So the sports ownership is changing. And what's sad here for Coyote fans, it's another reminder how quickly Utah has moved since acquiring the franchise. I mean, here we are sitting back searching for a long-term NHL solution. And here Utah is. They've had a team for, 2 years. They already got a major investment dollars from a private equity company, and they're building their business infrastructure, and it's happening overnight.
The first thing I thought of was, okay, these guys are big money guys coming to a franchise that's got an owner that gets it, wants to build the brand, wants to build the team, wants to win.
Yeah, they're worth over $1 billion.
Over $1 billion.
So they were like that before?
Yeah, I think a return of investment, right?
Oh, they already made it.
I mean, it's huge. I mean, guys go, wait a second. The heck with those stocks and bonds. Or how about here's a team that I'm sure they vetted and seen, to your point, the kind of money that Smith has made so far, and see the branding and the value of the team. And also, he's going to build, I think, sooner or later here, the brand new facility there in Salt Lake as well, too. That they're smart. They're going, hey, you know what? These sports teams that are successful, that are gaining 200 to 200 million a year as far as moving up, they're starting to brighten up and see what's going on from the investment side.
The Knicks star, OG, well, the OG logo looks as though he's got a shoe deal and a merchandising opportunity because of the nice tip-in.
Yeah.
And the unbelievable game he played.
It's such an OG versus the OCs, Ocean Cloud, OG. I mean, this kid, hey, good. Hey, more power to him. Low-key, nice guy, doesn't get really too excited. Heck, you just thought he just woke up when they did the presser after the game. But I'm sure when you see a guy that'll, if they win, that being the Knicks, will probably be the MVP to go ahead and capitalize on the status of a new brand of shoe. Not quite the Jordans, but I'm sure that the OG, I think of the on clouds versus the OG, the OCs versus the OG.
That game 4, pulled in close to 21 million viewers on ABC. It's a monster number. It's a huge rating story. It's up 123% comparable from last year. Through 4 games, they're averaging close to 20 million, which is 116% year over year. And it's the best 4-game average since 1998. And that's a big number. That's a really big number.
I mean, and to watch that game and to see the garden. And the thing that's impressive about me is when the cameras show the crowd. I didn't realize, I knew the garden was big, but when you're that camera view from the court going up and just continues to rise, it looks like it's a 10-story building from the inside. I know on the outside it's like 10, 15 stories, but just the crowd. I'm just very curious to see how many people tuned in when they saw that this Knicks team was coming back, probably midway through that third quarter. How many viewers turned in midway through that third quarter versus the total viewership for the entire game?
And finally, the tickets for the game tonight with U-Team USA. Over the last 3 days, the get-in price on the secondary resale sites jumped more than 50%. The cheapest ticket midday today was just over $1,200. And then it kept going to most recently in the last hour, $1,300. That is just a huge number.
Big number. This game's in Inglewood, and I'm trying to think where in Inglewood they've got a stadium.
SoFi.
Is it
SoFi.
Okay. So for a second, okay, that's right.
Yeah,
they'll have plenty of room.
Stadium.
Yeah, they'll have plenty of room.
Yeah, they're
I was thinking Irvine, where it's big soccer. They have a big UC Irvine has a big stadium, but that would not hold.
All right, we're going to continue talking some World Cup. We're going to talk to ASU women's soccer coach Graham Winkworth about America's chances, the toughest challenge in this group stage, and why, and about soccer in general. The fact that one of the FIFA teams picked Mesa, Arizona as one of their home bases for the biggest tournament in the world says a lot about our community. So we'll get into all that with him next. It's Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B here on ESPN Radio Phoenix. We're on FM on HD-2 98.7 and YouTube and the Arizona Sports app.
Want to witness the world's biggest soccer tournament in person? Look no further than Twin Peaks. Enter the Twin Peaks Go for Gold giveaway, presented by Michelob Ultra and Casamigos. And you could be one of 5 grand prize winners who get the VIP treatment, plus travel and lodging for your chance to win unmatched views of the match. Visit TwinPeaksSoccer.com to enter and choose your host city. Entries close on June 14th, so don't wait. Twin Peaks, eats, drinks, scenic views.
Phoenix, if you need a plumber, call the team that does it the right way. Victory Plumbing Arizona. It's particular plumbing for particular people with upfront pricing before the work starts. So there's no surprises when the job's done. And here's a deal just for listeners. Tell them you heard Victory Plumbing on Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B, and they'll waive the service charge. For leaks, clogs, water heaters, or anything plumbing, book today at victoryplumbingarizona.com. ROC number 268603.
Rock for WrightToyota.com. At Wright Toyota, they'd like you to get to know them. Their goal is to make buying your next vehicle the kind of experience that earns your recommendation to family and friends. They invite you to use all their innovative web tools on WrightToyota.com. So if you're looking for a new or pre-owned Toyota, head to their interactive website at WrightToyota.com. The right price, the right selection, all at WrightToyota.com.
Meth and cocaine are dangerous drugs. They don't have to be mixed with fentanyl to be deadly. In Arizona, deaths involving stimulants like meth and cocaine are rising. Both are highly addictive, and there is no medication that can reverse an overdose. Instead of thinking, it can't happen to me or my loved ones, get informed, recognize the warning signs, understand the risks, and know that help is available. Learn more at thenewmeth.com. Sponsored by the Substance Awareness Coalition Leaders of Arizona.
Babes, what are you doing?
What? I'm just mowing the lawn.
No, it's blazing hot and dry out here. Don't you remember? Smokey Bear says.
Avoid using power equipment when it's windy or dry.
Where'd you learn this?
Oh, it's on
SmokeyBear.com with many other wildfire prevention tips.
Right. Thanks, honey bear.
Because remember, only you can prevent wildfires.
Brought to you by the USDA Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council.
Every person in a crowd deserves to feel safe. After 10 lives were lost at a concert, Pink Bows Foundation stepped forward, fighting for safer venues and crowd safety training. So when you walk into a concert or cheer on your team at a big game, Pink Bows wants you to feel protected and safe in a crowd. Our focus is to help prevent another tragedy. Visit pinkbowsfoundation.org. Pink Bows Foundation. Safer events save lives.
It's Friday, and the guys are live from Wright Toyota. Right on the corner, right on the price. Wright Toyota, located at 77th Street and Frank Lloyd Wright Boulevard in Scottsdale. Now back to the guys on ESPN 620.
That's first goal yesterday at FIFA. World Cup. And our next guest is one of the most respected soccer minds here in the Valleys in his 10th year as the head coach at ASU women's soccer, a decade of building players and growing this game right here in the desert. He knows the game inside and out internationally as well. We welcome Sun Devils soccer coach, Graham Winkworth. Graham, Roc, Manuch, thanks so much. Appreciate you joining us here on ESPN Radio Phoenix. You're quite busy now, right? Off season, summer camps and things of that sort going on there in the bubble.
Yeah, we just got done with our last camp about an hour ago. So yeah, been really hectic the last few weeks.
So Turkey training in Mesa at the Arizona Athletic Grounds. What does that say about soccer here in the state of Arizona when you have a World Cup team training here?
Yeah, it's amazing. They've got some excellent players, and it's great for the community, the soccer community, to get out there. And I know that they had an open training session last week, I think it was, and it's amazing. And we've had some wonderful teams come through the Valley the last couple of years. Like I think it was 2 years ago when Phoenix hosted the Copa America. Colombia and Ecuador both trained on our Sun Devil soccer facilities, and so. It's really been wonderful to see such talented people come through the Valley.
Coach Graham Winkworth is joining us, Arizona State Soccer here on ESPN Radio Phoenix. When you're out recruiting and for Arizona State, of course, down to Big 12, how is Arizona viewed? You know, we talked Manuch being he trains quarterbacks in football, and we're kind of known now as a lot of great quarterbacks have come out of Arizona. We're now finding out some basketball players are coming out of Arizona. How about when it comes to soccer? How is the Southwest viewed?
Yeah, no, there's a lot of excellent talent in the area. Obviously Southern California has an abundance of talent as well, but we've managed to attract some of the top local talent from Arizona the last few years. We've got Adi Baltazano was on the All Big 12 freshman team last year. We've managed to persuade KK Zorn, who was former U.S. youth national team goalkeeper, to come home. She went originally for a year to Michigan State and has fortunately for us, has come home. So we're excited to have her now. And then we've added another one in Gator DeMar, who I think has got a great future. So hopefully we've got we've got the first contact with 2028 recruits on Monday, and so we're going to be talking to a lot of local girls, and hopefully can persuade a few to stay home.
Okay, Coach, how deep do you guys dig, and how much from the recruiting aspect are you allowed to, contact? Because I know my daughter was coming through. She got a scholarship from Eagle Crest High School in Colorado to Hastings College in Nebraska, and they'd had those summer tournaments, and it was just kind of funny. They couldn't talk. The coaches couldn't talk. We'd go over to UC Riverside, for example, big tournaments over there. And the coaches would kind of walk around and kind of check it all out, but they couldn't talk to anybody. Parents would see me wave at them. Is that still kind of the way with, at least on the women's side?
It is. There's a certain date that we're allowed to start communicating, and that's June 15th going into their junior year. And so that's Monday. And we will make a lot of phone calls that day. And, and with all the changes that have happened throughout college sports, not just soccer, but all of the sports in the last couple of years with the NIL opportunities and revenue share in certain sports, it's really changed the landscape for recruiting. And I'm interested to see what it sort of shapes out, to be honest. But no, it is kind of weird when you're recruiting, because I'm going to a tournament in California on Wednesday, and I'll be watching predominantly sophomores, and so again, we're just waving. We can't communicate.
So from that standpoint, we talk about women's soccer. You always feel pretty confident for the women's, that they've got a good shot of always winning the gold per se. So from the men's side, Coach, how much has it grown, or how much more does it need to grow in order to kind of talk along that same vein as women's soccer?
Yeah, it's very difficult because the difference between, for me, coming from Europe myself, soccer or football for me is the sport, and it's the number one sport, and then other sports like rugby, cricket, etc. It's like if soccer's number one, soccer's number 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, and then maybe rugby and cricket come in at 7 and 8. Whereas in the United States, you've got American football and you've got basketball and baseball and hockey and softball, etc. And soccer and volleyball, and soccer is starting to take off. It's still probably 5 or 6 in the United States, whereas it's number 1 in the rest of the world. So the reason I feel that I think the women have done an incredible job in the United States over the last 30, 40 years, but part of that success is because unfortunately for the rest of the world didn't play women's soccer. It was England, for example, was a very chauvinistic country when it came to sport. And even when I was in high school, in the autumn, in the fall, we would play rugby, and we weren't allowed to play on the soccer team unless we played on the rugby team. So we played rugby, then we played soccer, whereas the girls didn't get those options. The girls had to play netball, which is like basketball minus the bouncing. And then after netball, they would get to play field hockey, but they weren't allowed to play soccer. They weren't allowed to play rugby. Fortunately, now those times have changed, and because of it, there's now lots of club opportunities on the women's side in England, and this is happening all across the world. And because of the increased opportunities, I think the rest of the world is catching up with the United States on the women's side. On the men's side, it's just different because there's so many other sports that are popular in this country that soccer kind of takes a back seat. And when I look at like where all the top athletes are playing, what they're playing, so many of them are playing different sports that if some of these more athletic players or athletes were playing soccer from a younger age and picking up the technical skill to be good at it, then your team could be frightening. But that's not really the case. It's not a sport that you can often pick up in your teens and then be successful, because for me it's a lot more difficult to play than some of the other sports because it's foot orientated rather than hand orientated. Like everybody, whatever you grow up playing as a kid in England or in the United States, everybody can catch a ball. There's different ways of catching the ball, and obviously like in cricket, if you've got to catch a ball, or in rugby, you still got to catch a ball. Whereas if you're not taught how to technically control a ball with your feet, I don't think that's something that you can pick up and be really good at if you don't start at a young age.
Visiting with Graham Winkworth. He's Arizona State University women's soccer coach in his 10th year, heading in his 10th year of 2026. Coach, got to ask you, when you look at Team USA, what would constitute a successful tournament for Team USA? Is it just getting out of the group, or is it quarterfinals, or is it more?
Yeah, no, I think with this year's World Cup has been extended to 48 teams, and so 32 of those 48 teams are going to make it out the group. So that's 8 of 12 third-place teams. So if you're not making it out the group, then it's a huge failure as far as the United States are concerned. I would say round of 32, they should again be, they're number 16 in the FIFA World Rank. I'm not big on the FIFA World Rankings. I don't think the way they put those together is particularly strong. But if they're number 16 in the world, you've got to say anything less than the round of 16 would be a disappointment. Throw into the consideration that the United States is hosting the tournament. Personally, I think that they would be disappointed if they don't make the quarterfinals. Now, obviously, who knows who you get drawn against in the round of 32 or the round of 16? That could impact it a lot. But I think that the US should really be looking in a home tournament to be making the quarterfinals. Quarterfinals would be an excellent tournament. Round of 16 should be a minimum in my mind. And then my second team, obviously, I haven't done my naturalization yet, but I'm going to do that. And so they're my second team, and I'm a Derby County supporter in England, and we've got a player called Patrick Adjiman who unfortunately tore his Achilles, but he's a big part of the US setup.
Can I ask you a follow-up on that? For England, what would you constitute as a successful tournament for them? Because they're up there as being one of the teams that should win it, right?
Yeah. Anything less would. I mean, I know that we've only won one tournament, and everybody always builds England up pre-tournament and etc. But the previous coach took a lot of flack for his style of play, and his personality, etc. And that's just the British media, unfortunately, because he brought the team together after a difficult period, did a wonderful job. We lost the final of the European Championships on penalty kicks back in 21, and he did a wonderful job. And so, I'd be disappointed if we don't win it. But I understand. We are not the most talented team in the tournament. I mean, I think France and Spain are significantly got more talent than we do. But yeah, I mean, living in America, being English, anything less than winning it would be disappointing.
You talk about coaches, and for Team USA, you got a rookie coach. He's never coached in the World Cup. How much does that matter? On the surface, it sounds like it obviously does, but why would it matter so much?
Well, I'm not sure. For me, coaching a national team is very, very different to coaching up at the club level. Now, Pochettino's been an incredible club coach, but what I think he does is once he's got his group together, he's a very strong motivator. And for me, there's the national team staff have such little time with their players to implement certain, the X's and the O's and the tactical styles. And these players are such a high level and so intelligent that I think that actually just building the rapport and building the passion and the people piece of coaching is more important in international coaching than it is in club coaching because of the lack of time they get on the field. And so I think Pochettino is an excellent coach and is a great motivator and is one of the reasons that I think that US can do well in this tournament.
Grant, we really appreciate you coming on last minute. We hope we can do this again. This has been a lot of fun, and a lot of people are coming out of the woodwork that weren't really familiar with soccer, and I think this is great for the sport, and we hope that Team USA and England could go far, and it'll be good for everybody. So thank you for your time.
No, I appreciate having me very much. I look forward to chatting again. And just one little note is Coach Bocky just told me that he just got off the course with Greg Best, and Greg only played well on the back nine.
Good old Coach Bocky. We love it, Coach. That's good stuff. Appreciate it, Coach. That's Grant Winkworth, of course, Arizona State women's soccer coach. You can follow him on Twitter and just search Graham Winkworth. So we appreciate his time. All right, moving on. We are going to get back into the NBA Finals, Game 5. We'll catch up with Rick Kamla, get his take on the finals, biggest adjustments that we need to see for the Spurs, and what his prediction is for the rest of the series. But we'll get into another Twin Peaks Go for the Gold giveaway, which Labs will tell you all about that after his ESPN 620 Sports Center update.
It's now time for your Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B's ESPN 620 Sports Center update. I'm Matt Lazarus. The D-backs will look to halt their skid tonight as the road trip shifts to Cincinnati for a 3-game series against the Reds. First pitch is set for 4:15 with pregame coverage getting underway at 3:30 on 98.7 FM, also streaming live on the Arizona Sports app. And the FIFA World Cup has officially gone underway with action really ramping up tonight as Team USA opens play against Paraguay at SoFi Stadium. Kickoff is set for 6 o'clock as the Americans look to get the group stage play started on the right foot. Twin Peaks has a go-for-goal giveaway rolling. 5 lucky winners will score a hosted soccer match experience, a hotel stay, and a $250 Twin Peaks gift card. Enter for free at TwinPeaksSoccer.com and catch Michelob Ultra specials during all USA matches right here at Twin Peaks. TwinPeaksSoccer.com. It's Twin Peaks with eats, drinks, and scenic views.
Let me remind you, Thursdays are where the weekend starts at Twin Peaks Restaurant. Grab an ice-cold Bud Light or a refreshing Michelob Ultra and catch wall-to-wall sports on massive TVs everywhere you look. Big games, cold beer, made from scratch food. Start your weekend early with Bud Light and Michelob Ultra. Thursdays at Twin Peaks. Eats, drinks, and scenic views.
Celebrate Father's Day this year at Vans Golf Shops by Worldwide Golf. Unleash Dad's swing with the all-new Titleist GTS drivers. Find the perfect GTS driver for Dad to gain superior distance, accuracy, and ball speed. Need more ideas this Father's Day? We have gift cards in any amount, plus our online gift guide at worldwidegolf.com. Trusted by golfers since 1963 and home to the legendary 90-day 100% satisfaction guarantee. Vans Golf Shops by Worldwide Golf. Get there.
I was in a wreck. I need a check.
I was in a wreck. I need a check.
I was in a wreck. I need a check.
I'm Attorney Kevin Rowe. Getting rear-ended once is bad enough. Don't let the insurance company hit you again with a lowball offer. Call an experienced attorney who knows how to fight and win. Call Lerner and Rowe today. 977-1900.
When I grow up, I want to be a teacher.
Because when I'm a teacher, I can help kids to learn and chase their dreams.
PI, a defect of the immune system, affects millions of children. Early and accurate diagnosis and treatment give children like Sam a chance to achieve their dreams.
It takes a lot of caring teachers to make school fun. It took a lot of caring people to keep my dream alive. And now, because of them, I can be head of the class.
For more information, visit the Jeffrey Modell Foundation at info4pi.org.
Arizona businesses need more skilled workers, and our students are the solution. At the Pima Joint Technical Education District, we build the talent Arizona businesses rely on. With cutting-edge programs in health and technology and hands-on career training, our 30,000 students will graduate ready for high-demand careers. JTED builds the future of Arizona's workforce. Learn how our students will bring excellence to your business at pimajted.org. This message is sponsored by Potoff Private Philanthropy.
Looking for a meaningful way to engage in your community and make a difference?
Volunteer with the State Health Insurance Assistance Program, or SHIP.
We need your help to support your friends and neighbors as they enroll in Medicare for the first time.
Review plan options or troubleshoot problems with their health care.
SHIP has many volunteer opportunities. Whether it's conducting one-on-one counseling, speaking to groups, or providing office support, SHIP can find a role that's right for you.
For more information or to volunteer, visit azship.org. This project is supported by a grant from the U.S. Administration for Community Living, U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
It's Friday, and the guys are live from Wright Toyota. Right on the corner, right on the price. Wright Toyota, located at 77th Street and Frank Lloyd Wright Boulevard in Scottsdale. Now back to the guys on ESPN 620.
All right, Knicks are one win, I should say, away from their first NBA title in more than 50 years. I couldn't believe what they did. What an amazing feat, and for OG to deliver one of the biggest. Yeah, have one of the biggest games of his career, and the clutch play and everything else. And, of course, Jalen Brunson, and now San Antonio has to try to figure this out. Joining us now, Rick Kamla, good friend of the program, joins us somewhere in Florida here on Roc Manuch with UB here on ESPN Radio Phoenix. What's going on, buddy? What's going on? What's happening out there in Florida? You having a good time?
What's happening,
weather?
fellas? Just hanging in Clearwater, man. You know how it is.
Yeah.
Paradise. You know, a lot of the Floridians like to complain about humidity and the hot weather, but I'm from Minnesota. You'll never hear that complaint out of me.
Hey, I want to start with a broad question first. One that just has to do with the NBA in general and all the time you spend with the NBA TV and everything else. But when you look at this, if New York wins, the league will see its 8th different champion in 8 years. Is this parity? Is this healthy for the NBA? Or are we missing? Are we going to be missing the era of that dominant, predictable, those dynasties that we always saw? Where do you sit with that?
The NBA has set it up for parity. The small market owners. Remember, Joe Lacob and Peter Guber were, going well over the tax and paying huge luxury tax payments, which get dispersed at the end of the year to all of the non-tax paying teams. So teams will get like a $10 million check from the teams that, go over that. So that was the old CBA though, right? They did the new CBA, and the new CBA was set up, and this is going to sound sarcastic, but it's true, to screw over the players. I think the new CBA is absolutely awful from the player perspective. That's for another show. But what it also did, with the second apron and the first apron and all this kind of stuff, it completely changed the game. So even like the big time spenders, the high rollers are like, I can't do it anymore. I got to play by the rules now. You know what I mean? I got to stay in the box that they want me to be in. I can't be a rebel. And so it's completely leveled the playing field. Like San Antonio's going to have a De'Aaron Fox decision to make here. Castle's looking like a max player. Harper's definitely a max player. Wemby's obviously a max player. Okay, like you can't have a whole bunch of max players. You got to have a crew. You got to have 25, 30s, 40s, and then you can have 4 or 5 of those guys. That's the formula now. But it's all set up for parity. And just to kind of cap this off, guess what? Parity is going away starting next year when Wemby wins the first of his dynasty, okay? The Wemby dynasty is about to begin, and this little era of parity is about to end.
So all that being said, when you think about that, I was just thinking about the last San Antonio dynasty, how they were able to keep the Ginobilis, the Parkers, the Duncans, on and on and on, versus today, as Roc alluded to, having that championship. So is it just about the player that keeps that dynasty going, or a combination of all the above?
Yeah, you got to have the player, though, right? Right. You've got the Steph dynasty with the Warriors. You've got the Kobe dynasty with the Lakers. And, he and Shaq had a three-peat, which is a dynasty, but Kobe won 5 with the Lakers, right? To me, that's the Kobe dynasty. With 2 with Powell. You had the Duncan dynasty, he got 5. The Magic dynasty, he got 5. The Jordan dynasty, he got 6. The Bird dynasty, he got 3. And on and on and on and on and on. You got to have that guy. And Wemby is that guy. Who's not that guy? Luka Doncic.
Yeah, and I think that when you stop and think, you got to have the players, right? Okay, so we go back to the game. I think I just want to get perspective. Yeah, hey, it's all great that New York came back, but I think more frustrating for me as a fan, a fundamentalist in reference to football and quarterbacking and fundamentals breaking down. Number 1, the De'Aaron Fox situation. Number 2, not blocking out or knowing where Anunoby is. I just see so many, and these are all sports, Rick. I see lack of tackling in football or lack of this. And just basic fundamental basketball. I think for me, watching these games is what is frustrating for me and fans when we teach some of this stuff to kids in junior ball in 6th, 7th, 7th, and 8th grade.
I completely agree with everything you're saying. Now, we've all been kind of waiting on San Antonio to show their experience, right? At some point, it's going to happen, right? They've never made a playoff run together, and here they are in the finals, right? So that's crazy in and of itself. They were favored coming into the series. Wemby's in his 3rd year, but what we're seeing, and what's the average age on their team? 22.7, whatever it is. They're a young team. They do have some vets at the end of the roster, but they're a young core team. So it's finally happened. Okay, like I was dissing Cleveland the whole playoffs. They somehow beat Detroit. Okay, well, everything I said finally happened when Harden and the whole team choked in the East Finals, but it took an extra round. All right, well, maybe we expected San Antonio to stumble against it. They didn't. They got by the champs. And I think the New York Knicks are positioning themselves, the Spurs, into some tough scenarios where you're taxing them in terms of IQ, and you're really putting them under a stress test, and they're failing. You had the Wemby pass to Castle that's picked off in game 2. You had all the foibles, especially at the end of the game, but the whole second half was just a bleed show. They had 30 points. Dude, right? So we're finally seeing their age, their inexperience on a huge stage against a veteran team.
Yeah, Matthew, that was going to be my question, was the yin and yang. You got veterans who kept their poise and made the shots, and then the youth. But I guess when you're seeing so fundamentally sound mistakes, is that guys get caught up in the moment, the anxiousness, or maybe some things aren't drilled enough at the pro level, or maybe they didn't get drilled enough at the junior high level. You sure I'm going with that, Rick?
Yeah, I sighed because it's a really good question. They've been drilled 10 million times. No, this is a choke in the moment thing. Yeah. That's what's going on. Fox knows to pull the ball out and get fouled. I mean, Wemby missed 2 free throws, right? But
sure.
And I love Wemby. But he choked. Okay, like the crowd was going crazy. You've blown this huge lead. Like the whole weight of the world was on him, and he's probably in the back of his brain thinking, "Boy, what a dumbass thing that was for me to taunt Mitchell Robinson and point to my head. Like what is that? Well, I didn't even know the cliche. I have real estate in your head or whatever. I mean, it was so. and again, I'm a huge Wemby guy, but bro, you're down in this series. You've already made critical mistakes in this series. Like, just play ball. You're not like, you know what I'm saying? When you're like out in front like the Knicks are right now, and you want to get kind of pompous and cocky, and Draymond, like, okay, bro, you're down in the series. You haven't won the game yet. And again, I love Wemby. I'm not like hard banging on him. I just thought that was a mistake. And he's made several mistakes in these finals. And you know what, guys? It's okay. He's in his 3rd year. He's going to learn from it.
I mean, can he realistically be the best player on the floor for the next 3 games or for 3 straight games? And then second part of that, will you wear one of the different jerseys, the 3 jerseys you have at Wemby each game if he can take this thing back? Because last week you told you had 3 jerseys.
I do, but I've also got a Brunson jersey.
Okay.
Okay. Like I'm in Florida, and I go to the beach a lot, so I wear NBA jerseys a lot. But
sure.
Look, my 2 favorite players are Wemby and Brunson, and I'm not like a 5-year-old fanboy, but like this is our lives, right? I love these dudes. Okay, they're foxhole guys. But I have so many homies that are hardcore Knicks fans, and just Spike Lee and my boy Chalamet, and I say that I don't know him, but him spazzing out after Game 4 is one of the coolest things I've seen in a long time. Like, I just loved it. Phenomenal video. Just like, I mean, just like the top male actor pretty much in the world is just acting like a 7-year-old. I thought it was phenomenal. So, and look, guys, it's been 53 years. It's the Knicks. It's the best fan base in the NBA. Dang it, it's time, man. So I'm actually rooting for the Knicks. I'll tell you, I wore my Brunson jersey games 1 and 2. They won. I didn't wear it game 3. They lost. I put it back on for game 4. They won. I have no idea, guys. I'm not an astrologist, but maybe it's just a coincidence.
Rick, and also last week we were talking about the potential unsung heroes, and you mentioned Anunoby right off the get-go. And, for those of us that kind of sort of knew he was at that Toronto championship, didn't play a lot, but we watched him this whole year. I mean, all of a sudden he's quietly become the leading scorer. He's quietly become the potential MVP if they win it all. And here's this kid at the presser, like he just woke up and I'm happy to be here and did my game. I mean, it's so refreshing to see this hardworking, all 48-minute kind of guy just kind of go about his business.
Completely agree. He's made the MVP interesting. I mean, to me, it's Brunson, 29.5 a game, 30-plus in 3 of the 4 games. He's been just huge in the 4th quarter, especially the dagger at the end of game 1, which I said at the time was the best shot in Knicks history, and that was trumped with the putback by OG, which I put even above the Houston bleeder and the LJ 4-point play and all that kind of stuff. Because those guys didn't win it, right? And anyway, I could go on a whole thing about that. But OG's an absolutely terrific player at the height of his superpowers right now. And, boy, I almost don't want to say this. All right, screw it. I don't believe in jinxes, right? Like, that type of stuff, you know what I'm saying? Like, he's been haunted a little bit. You just mentioned it. He didn't play in the finals back in 2019.
Right.
He had the emergency appendectomy. So there's been, the Indiana series, right? Last year, he had the hammy, came back, didn't work out, blah, blah, blah. So he's healthy and just kicking ass and taking names right now. And the greatest putback in NBA history, I think, is there another putback that you can think about? Oh, yeah, back in 83 when Moses Malone, we like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's the best putback I've ever seen. And to me, the third or fourth best NBA final shot of all time, and I think it's the best Knicks shot of all time.
So if the Knicks finish this off, where does this championship rank amongst, significant titles in a franchise's history? It's got to be their number one, right? No question.
It's absolutely huge. It's like Dirk getting his. You know what I mean? Like such a sensational player, and to beat the Heatles and Tim and Jason Terry and a bunch of mercenaries, right? Like he shouldn't have won that chance. It was, and so for Brunson, it's a huge FU to everybody. I mean, this guy's the second round pick. All he does is print championships, high school, college times two. In the pros, I mean, like he can do the crotch chop to everybody. Just give him the Embiid crotch chop. Take the fine from the NBA. Like, do you, bro? But it's a huge win for the small guards, right? Iverson couldn't quite, break through and win. Isaiah did. Brunson would enter like that combo with those guys because he's the leading man on this team. It'd be one of the most famous championships ever. And I'll add one more thing here, guys. I'm going to give them extra credit. I'm going to give them like 1.25 rings here because Game 2 was rigged unsuccessfully. Game 3 was rigged successfully. And the first quarter of Game 4 was rigged, again, unsuccessfully.
Rick, as always, buddy, thank you. Have a great weekend, and we'll see what happens here. It should be interesting. I mean, I think a lot of us want, just like the NHL, we want to go 7 games. If we don't have a horse in the race, so to speak. So we just want the NBA to keep going for another 3 more games.
This is a lot of fun, Rick. I got to tell you, this is fun watching this.
No, it certainly is, man. I hope you guys are okay with that conspiracy theory grenade at the end of the interview.
No problem.
Yeah, that's Rick Kamla joining us as he has last week. We hope we'll catch him after this too. You follow Rick, just search Rick Kamla Sports. He's got a YouTube show that it's on weekly at 12 o'clock Pacific, which is what we are right now, which people, even I had a conversation yesterday. I was in Chicago a week, and no one could figure out what Arizona is. And then I was in Indy for a day too, and they're 2 hours. Yeah. Oh, no, sorry, Indy's 3 hours.
Yes.
Chicago's 2 hours.
Yeah, we're Pacific, then there's a mountain an hour ahead of us, and there's 2 hours where you were in Chicago, and then there's 3 hours. Yeah, we're kind of in between.
All right, Rick, we appreciate his time. He's presented today by All City Towing, Arizona's largest towing company. Whether you're stranded or need a professional transport, All City Towing, you see them all over the place. They have the experience to get the job done right 24/7, 365 days a year. They're hiring all types of positions, but to find out which positions that may fit you, just go to the website, allcitytowing.com, and search careers. All right, you're going to hear, we're going to stay with the NBA. We had Mr. Mahoney on from AP Associated Press, who was at the game. We'll get his thoughts, and you'll hear his rewind that he gave us earlier today on the program. It's Roc and Manuch from Right Toyota.
When it's game time in the Valley, you know what time it is. It's Twin Peaks time. Head to Twin Peaks with 5 Valley locations and massive screens everywhere you look. From basketball, baseball, to hockey, fights, and more, there's no better place to catch every play and all the action. Bud Light is a proud partner of sports fans everywhere. Twin Peaks, eats, drinks, scenic views. When hot is not an option, Stay Cool delivers. From patios to warehouses, shops to summer events, Stay Cool's Slim Cool Elite and Cool Cube mobile air coolers deliver more air for less money. They're rust-free and backed by more than 40 years of experience keeping you cool. Available now online at Home Depot, Lowe's, and Tractor Supply. Shipped to the store or right to your door. Visit staycool-products.com. Slim Cool Elite and Cool Cube. Get yours today with free shipping and beat the heat.
You push hard, you train hard. Shouldn't your soda work just as hard? Meet Who Knew, the superfood nutrition soda packed with whole vitamins, electrolytes, and antioxidants. Only 5 grams of natural sugar. Over 2,000 5-star reviews. Voted the #1 soda for athletes. Whole food nutrition, great taste. That's Who Knew. Go to HUNUsoda.com and use code ESPN for 10% off your first order. Who Knew Soda. Soda that's actually good for you. HUNUsoda.com. Code ESPN.
When it's game time in the Valley, you know what time it is. It's Twin Peaks time. Head to Twin Peaks with 5 Valley locations and massive screens everywhere you look. From basketball, baseball to hockey, fights, and more, there's no better place to catch every play and all the action. Bud Light is a proud partner of sports fans everywhere. Twin Peaks, eats, drinks, scenic views.
Okay, class, let's begin.
Psst, love your boots. I just sold a pair like that on eBay.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it took like 2 seconds to list and they sold almost immediately. I've been selling everything lately. Some chunky boots, a faux fur coat I never wore, and a vintage chair that was more of an expensive clothing rack.
You know, I actually bought these on eBay. Wait, are you Kitty Sell Stuff from Brooklyn?
Okay, quiet, please.
Find what you love, sell what you don't. eBay, things people love.
This Father's Day, do more with Dad and spend less with low prices guaranteed at the Home Depot. Get him fired up with a new grill and accessories, like the Next Grill 5-burner for just $299, so you can spend more time together while he becomes the grill master he was always meant to be. Or build memories of savings on top brand power tools so you can tackle projects side by side. Gift more and do more together this Father's Day with help from the Home Depot. Exclusions apply. See HomeDepot.com/price match for details.
It's the Lerner and Rowe one call, that's all call of the day. If you're looking for a full service law firm, just make one call, that's all. 602-977-1900. Lerner and Rowe, voted Arizona's best law firm.
I think for them, they're obviously hanging on to the fact that they've probably should have won at worst 2 games in the series. They've been up by double digits in all 4 games. They know they're getting off to good starts, so I don't think they're worried that the Knicks are going to come crush them early. But yeah, the second and third quarters are when things have started to get away from them a little bit. This time, not the second quarter, but then the third quarter completely. So the middle of the game, once we start getting to the rotations and stuff, the Knicks are just finding combinations that are coming in and playing well. The Spurs are not, and it's forcing their guys to, I think, play heavier minutes. It's wearing down Wembanyama a little bit, and we're seeing in the fourth quarter that the Knicks seem to be fresher and ran past them in 2 of the games.
Brian Mahoney from Associated Press covers the Knicks and Nets. Joined us in the 2 o'clock hour. You can find that on the Arizona Sports app, or just go to rockandmanuch.com. You can get it there. Appreciate his time. Part of our Lerner Row one call. That's all. 602-977-1900 and at lernerandrow.com. All right, it is World Cup opening weekend. And, of course, United States and Paraguay tonight, 6 o'clock. It is on Fox. It is from SoFi Stadium. It's the opener. Should be a good one. There's been a few matches throughout the afternoon. Tomorrow it's very busy. Turkey, who, of course, their base camp is at the Arizona Athletic Grounds at Mesa. They're playing their World Cup opener. They're in the same group as USA. And they got Australia tomorrow at 9 p.m. as they'll be up in Vancouver. So it's interesting is they're training here, and then they play in Vancouver. I believe they play in the Bay Area, and they also play in LA. So they just they'll travel for a few days, then they'll come back and they'll practice after this match on Sunday or Saturday. Then they'll come back on Sunday. They'll train all week, and then they'll have another game on I believe it's
much nicer weather up there, Vancouver, and on the west coast there.
That is what's on tap. Of course, Knicks and Spurs is 5:30 tomorrow, with the Knicks leading that series. Stanley Cup Finals, Game 6, Carolina at Vegas. That is on Sunday at 5 o'clock. D-backs are in Cincinnati. They got a 4:15 start today. Tomorrow, 1:10, and then 10:40 on Sunday. So an early one there. Hopefully you can get the bats out. And then
Wake them up.
Got College World Series in Omaha. No Arizona schools in the field, but it's live all weekend long on ESPN and ABC. It sounds like West Virginia is one of the top teams that everyone's talking about. I don't know if they've played already today. I know they were playing Troy, but not sure. I haven't been following it. When you don't got a team in, I don't really watch it like I used to.
ASU really, they don't win the Big 12 championship. They were favored to, and then they got beat twice by Ole Miss in the regional. Ole Miss went on, and just very unfortunate. I remember Arizona State was like
always
perennial. Them every year, and nice to see that Landon Hairston got the with Golden Spikes Award.
Yeah.
Top player
Scott Harrison, former Diamondbacks.
and
son.
he's coming back for his junior year for the Arizona State Seminoles. Good news there.
So that's what's on tap, which is sponsored by Bud Light. Easy to drink, easy to enjoy. The official partner of Roc Manuch with Jimmy B. And Thursdays on special at all 5 Twin Peaks locations. Twin Peaks eats, drinks, and scenic views. And speaking of Twin Peaks, they got the watch parties going, of course, tonight beginning at 6 o'clock. And all 5 locations. And it's going to be similar to what we saw yesterday at all 5 locations and what we heard. Absolute chaos, loud, Mexico,
fun
there, at least at the Glendale location. So watch party tomorrow. Michelob Ultra is the partner there. So they have bucket specials, draft specials, and things of that sort. So again, we still got time to get in our State 48 Roofing. It's your call question. What's the most you've ever paid for a ticket to a sporting event, and was it worth it? And Manuch with Celine Dion.
Celine Dion, well, for concerts, it was $500 a piece. Yeah, it was
We
awesome.
went twice.
Yeah, we did back-to-back years. That was awesome.
You
That was
lost your man
Lori's
card.
birthday
All right,
present.
that makes sense.
Sporting-wise, it was $450 a piece, $450 a piece for me and Lori. Brock Purdy's rookie year out of Sun Devil Stadium, and they won that game. That was the run that they made. He started those last 5 games, and it was, it was the Purdy effect.
$500 is not a lot for a ticket.
Well, I mean, it was
for you, I guess, as former NFL player, you don't have to pay for
But
anything.
here's the thing. No, it was lower, but they were. We looked at.
Was that here?
It was here, yeah. But we looked initially; they were $250, and then about 2 weeks before we got the tickets, they bumped up $250. So it's $450, $500 a piece. So here's this successful San Francisco team coming in. All of a sudden, some of those lower seats that weren't taken or season ticket holders, they bumped about $250. So we said, all right, $1,000, go see Brock, beat the Cardinals. Hell, that might have been his last game. You never know.
Do you know if he had? Do you remember what kind of game he had?
He had a hell of a game.
Did he?
He had like 3 touchdown passes.
Why
Chris
couldn't
McCaffrey.
he couldn't get you on like a field pass or anything like that?
Well, they only allow so many to go see him after the game.
Yeah.
Couldn't get a field pass. So